Chapter 1438. A small bet, eh? Looking at White Skin, who was constantly screaming on the ground in the distance, Ning Yu's brows raised, revealing a puzzled expression. I haven't even exerted any strength. Why did you fall? Puff. Originally, White Skin was already very ashamed and furious. Now that it was mocked by Ning Yu in front of so many people, its face turned even paler, abruptly spewing out a large mouthful of dark red blood. You cheated. Crawling up from the ground with difficulty, White Skin wiped the blood at the corner of its mouth and said viciously, "Today I will enforce justice on behalf of heaven." As it spoke, White Skin's feet stomped on the ground, charging towards Ning Yu again. Sigh, what a pity. Actually, I'm a kind person. My original intention was to reconcile with you. Looking at White Skin, who was charging towards him unceasingly, Ning Yu sighed lightly and said, "Since you insist on finding trouble with me, I can only exchange pointers with you." Clenching his right hand into a fist, Ning Yu did not hold back in the slightest. A fist brought along a violent Yuan Qi gale, ruthlessly blasting towards White Skin's chest. White Skin's strength at its peak state was indeed very powerful. Even with Ning Yu's strength, he did not have absolute confidence in resisting. However, the current White Skin was already in a heavily injured state. Its strength was less than 30% of its peak state. Dealing with White Skin in this state, Ning Yu naturally would not make any mistakes. Bang! Under everyone's gaze, Ning Yu's fist landed on White Skin's chest with no way to avoid. A crisp sound rang out, only to see White Skin fly out in a straight line like a kite with a broken string. Crash! White Skin flew out this time. Like dominoes, even the surrounding city Lord Manor experts who were watching were knocked down together. All right, let's get back to business. Ning Yu clapped his hands together, and then he paid no further attention to White Skin as he directly arrived before Bai Guang and said solemnly, "I'll say it again. Would there be any problems if I break these two puppets apart?" Humph. Then you need to have this strength too. Bai Guang said with a cold snort, "Don't worry about whether I have the strength or not. Just tell me if there will be any problems, and if there will be people making things difficult for me." Ning Yu waved his hand and said, "Ning Yu, how about we make a bet?" Seeing that Ning Yu was brimming with confidence in him, Bai Guang's eyes spun as he felt that his chance had come. He sorted out his thoughts and said, "As long as you can destroy the two puppets, I can make the decision and guarantee your safety. I will also provide you with the antidote." "Let's change the bet." "I don't need the antidote anymore," Ning Yu said. "You don't need to?" Bai Guang was stunned at first. Then he immediately changed his words and said, "Then what do you want?" "How about this? If I can destroy the two puppets, then from the moment I destroy the puppets, you have to listen to me completely. As for the time..." Ning Yu paused for a moment and said, "Let's make it 3 days." "What if you can't destroy the puppets?" Bai Guang asked. "That's simple. If I can't destroy the puppets, then I'll listen to you." "The time limit is also 3 days, said Ning Yu. "Deal." Bai Guang quickly nodded his head in agreement, fearing that Ning Yu would go back on his words. The reason why Bai Guang was so anxious was that he felt that Ning Yu was too stupid and felt that his chance had come. Whether he could successfully escape or not depended on the two puppets. However, Bai Guang was very confident in the toughness of the two puppets' bodies. Not to mention that Ning Yu was only an 8th grade Intermediate Earth Supreme. Even if Ning Yu was an 8th grade Intermediate Earth Supreme, he wouldn't be able to destroy the puppets. Not even a 9th grade Earth Sovereign could do anything. That's because he had fought with the two puppets in the past. With his cultivation at the 9th grade Earth Sovereign realm, he couldn't even shake the two puppets, not to mention destroying them. "Please take a few steps back." Ning Yu smiled and walked step by step towards the two puppets. "I'll see what you're capable of," Bai Guang said coldly. Ning Yu completely ignored Bai Guang's words. His speed was very, very slow. The two puppets were very special. The moment the bronze door opened, they took the initiative to attack. Later on, if Ningyu didn't attack, they wouldn't attack. Therefore, it gave Ningyu a lot of time to think. Quangzhan, how confident are you in destroying these two puppets? With a thought, Ningyu started to contact Quangzhan. The reason why white paper suddenly fell was because of Quangzhan. Ningyu asked Quangzhan to see if he could destroy the two puppets. If Quangzhan was capable, then he would let him do it. Less than 10%. Ningyu was disappointed. In Ningyu's view, Quangzhan was a 9th grade Earth Sovereign, so he should have 60 to 70% confidence. But who could have imagined that Quangzhan only had less than 10% confidence? So it looked like he could only do it himself. You're walking so slowly. Do you really think that you can destroy the puppets? Yeah, this is the City Lord's mansion. No one is allowed to behave atrociously here. If Ningyu can destroy the two puppets, I'll eat the fragments of the puppets. Good teeth, but I don't have that ability. I can only eat the fragments of the crystal ball. No one was optimistic about Ningyu. Actually, aside from the City Lord's mansion, even Quangzhan and Lu Wei weren't optimistic about him. The two puppets were too powerful. With Ningyu's 8th grade Earth Sovereign cultivation, how could he destroy them? Brute force? That's too unreliable. When he was 3 steps away from the puppets, Ningyu stopped. Turning around, he looked at Bai Guang. Remember your promise. Don't disappoint me. Rest assured, I, Bai Guang, am a man of my words. If you don't believe me, I can make a heavenly oath. As he spoke, Bai Guang really made a heavenly oath. Good job. You didn't embarrass our city, Lord's mansion. This is what they mean by being courageous. Ningyu, do you dare to make a heavenly oath? Russell. Ningyu shifted his gaze and looked at the last cultivator. You want me to make a heavenly oath? Ningyu knitted his brows. That's right, make a heavenly oath. Being stared at by Ningyu, the last cultivator braced himself and called out. Not bad, you have guts. Ningyu retracted his gaze and raised his right foot, walking towards the puppets. However, Ningyu's arrogant words resounded in this region. I don't need to make a heavenly oath, because I can destroy the two puppets soon. Rumble. Ningyu's words caused a huge uproar in this region. Arrogant. I suggest we execute him on the spot as a warning to others. We can't kill him, but we have to let him know the power of the city, Lord's mansion. Ningyu's provocative words made the surrounding onlookers go berserk. If Bai Guang was not still in Ningyu's hands, they would have swarmed and attacked long ago. Open your eyes and watch. At this moment, Ningyu's figure disappeared in the blink of an eye and appeared in front of one of the puppets. His right hand turned into a palm and quietly placed it on the back of the puppet. Creak! Chapter 1439. Chapter 1439. Conceding the loss, haha, Ningyu is doomed. Yeah, he actually wants to disperse the puppets? What a fool's dream. Even if Ningyu doesn't die this time, he will be crippled. That's for sure, the puppet is powerful. A 2nd grade Earth Sovereign Realm puppet can confront a 3rd grade Earth Sovereign of the human race. Hee. Let's see if anyone dares to be arrogant in the city, Lord's mansion. What? However, before the last cultivator could finish his cold smile, his eyes widened and a look of shock appeared on his face. Crack! Before the bronze door, the fist of the puppet did not land on Ningyu's head, but stopped half a foot away from Ningyu's head. Thereafter, everyone witnessed an unbelievable scene. Starting from the fist, the puppet started to shatter. It started with the fist, followed by the arm, shoulder, and finally the entire body. Russell. It didn't take long for the 2nd grade Earth Supreme Realm puppet to fall apart. This situation had exceeded everyone's expectations. So when the puppet shattered, everyone stood on the spot with dumbfounded expressions. How did Ningyu do it? One must know that the body of the puppet was extremely tough, and even a ninth-grade Earth Sovereign wasn't confident in destroying it. So how did Ningyu do it? Could it be that there's an internal problem because the puppet was frequently challenged? All sorts of doubts rose in everyone's hearts. Without any exception, no one believed in Ningyu. But the truth was placed before them, and they couldn't refute it. There must be an issue with this puppet. Ning, you definitely won't be able to destroy the next puppet. Yeah, Ning, you definitely won't be able to destroy the next puppet. If Ning, you can do it, I will chop off my head. Accident, it's purely an accident. Everyone's exclamations and disbelief made the corner of Ning Yu's lips rise. He rubbed his palms and walked to the other puppet. Looking at the puppet, Ning Yu did not destroy it immediately. Instead, he wanted to have a duel with it to test his current combat strength. Rumble. In the next moment, Ning Yu and the puppeteer were engaged in battle. Judging from this battle alone, Ning Yu did not gain much of an advantage. On the contrary, he was at a slight disadvantage. Actually, this was not surprising. Ning Yu did not use the red demon sword. In fact, he did not even use all of his yuan qi. To be able to fight to a draw with the puppets was already very good. Not bad. I should be able to easily defeat a second Great Earth Sovereign. After 5 minutes of battle, Ningyu had a comprehensive understanding of his own combat power. Facing a third Great Earth Sovereign might be a little difficult, and he would have to use all his trump cards. But against a second Great Earth Supreme, it shouldn't be a problem. All right, we've tried it out. Now we can smash this puppet into pieces. After having a clear understanding of his own strength, Ningyu quietly took out the demonic lotus flame and tried to find an opportunity to inject it into the puppet's body. It was the demonic lotus flame that he was able to destroy the puppet. The demonic lotus flame was a terrifying flame that was ranked 5th on the exotic flames list. Using the demonic lotus flame would ensure that nothing went wrong. Ha ha ha. However, before Ningyu could inject the demonic lotus flame into the puppet, the crowd in the distance burst into laughter. Ningyu is at his wit's end. Like I said, Ningyu being able to destroy a puppet just now was completely a stroke of luck. Don't say that. Otherwise, you'll be in trouble if Ningyu gets angry. I'm not afraid of him because he can't destroy the second puppet. That means he has to listen to Bai Guang's orders. Will Bai Guang let him attack me? That's obviously impossible. The martial artists of the city, Lord's Mansion, were very arrogant. Whenever they had the chance, they would mock and ridicule Ningyu. If they were not afraid of Ningyu's powerful strength and white skin's strange defeat just now, they would even rush out together and exchange pointers with Ningyu. Sigh, I'm sorry. Ningyu sighed and showed a contemptuous look to the surrounding martial artists. Then he forcefully injected a trace of demonic lotus flame into the second puppet. Crack! Without a doubt, when the demonic lotus flame entered the second puppet shattered with a loud bang. The shattering of this puppet was like a heavy hammer knocking on everyone's heart, causing their hearts to contract. What the hell was going on? What was going on in this world? Could it be that Ningyu was really that powerful? That was a puppet, the toughest puppet in the city, Lord's Mansion, the guardian of the Forbidden Land. Yet it was easily destroyed by him. The surrounding city, Lord's Mansion's powerhouses were silent. Bai Guang was silent. Lu Wei, they all were similarly silent. Sorry, you can fulfill your promise now. Scattering the second puppet, Ningyu went straight in front of Bai Guang and said, Listen to my orders for 3 days. I, Bai Guang, am a man of my word. Although unwilling, Bai Guang still braced himself and said. The current Bai Guang was very regretting that he swore a heavenly Tao oath. If he did not swear a heavenly Tao oath, he could still quibble and act shamelessly. After swearing a heavenly Tao oath, he even lost the chance to act shamelessly. Defying a heavenly Tao oath? He did not have this guts yet. Go, call Bai Qi out for me. Ningyu patted Bai Guang's shoulder and said, I'm an outsider after all. It's not convenient for me to enter the Forbidden Land, so it's better for you to go call Bai Qi out. This isn't appropriate, right? Since you're already here, why not go in and have a seat? Bai Guang said, I won't go in. Find 2 people to carry you. I want to see Bai Qi appear in front of me in 10 minutes. Ningyu waved his hand and said, If I don't see Bai Qi in 10 minutes, I'm sorry, but you might have to suffer a little. Ningyu was not an idiot. He had scattered the 2 puppets. If he still dared to enter the Forbidden Land at this time, he would definitely be surrounded and attacked by many experts. As long as he was outside the Forbidden Land, the experts of the City Lord's Mansion would be afraid of Fairy Yin Shi and Tao Master Shemo, and would not dare to do anything to him. At the very least, experts above Grade 9 Earth Supreme would not easily make a move. Of course, Bai He and the other 2 were different. Otherwise, they would not have been captured and devoured by the Dark Emperor. Let's go. Helpless, Bai Guang could only call for 2 cultivators to carry him and walk towards the Forbidden Land. Both of Bai Guang's legs were broken. Before he received treatment, he could only be carried by others. Swish! However, just as Bai Guang arrived in front of the bronze door, before his right foot could enter the Forbidden Land, a figure rushed out from inside. Swish! The speed of this figure was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, he left the Forbidden Land and charged towards Ningyu. This is Chapter 1440. Exit. Bai Qi has made his move. Yeah, Bai Qi is the leader of the giant shield city's younger generation. If he makes a move, Ningyu will definitely be defeated. Defeated? Aren't you overestimating Ningyu too much? In my opinion, Ningyu will be killed. That's impossible. Firstly, Ningyu isn't someone to be trifled with. He can even defeat Bai Pai, who are both 2nd grade Earth Sovereigns and… Hold on. What kind of ancient history is that? Look at Bai Qi. Hiss! As the last cultivator finished speaking, everyone's gazes shifted towards Bai Qi. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air when they saw what it was. 3rd grade Earth Sovereign. Bai Qi wasn't a 2nd grade Earth Sovereign, but a genuine 3rd grade Earth Sovereign. After being in seclusion for such a long time, Bai Qi had finally advanced to 3rd grade Earth Sovereign. Was Ningyu strong? Very strong. Was Bai Qi strong? Very, very strong. If Bai Qi was only a 2nd grade Earth Sovereign, some people might be optimistic about Ningyu. But now that Bai Qi had reached the 3rd grade Earth Sovereign realm, it could be said that everyone in this region was optimistic about Bai Qi. Looking at the approaching white silhouette, Ningyu's face turned grave for the first time. He gathered all the primordial qi in his sea of consciousness into his fist and threw a backhand punch. His fist collided with the white figure's unavoidable fist. Boom! When the 2 fists clashed, both Ningyu and Bai Qi took a few steps back. Bai Qi took 3 steps back, while Ningyu also took 3 steps back. On the surface, the 2 seemed to be evenly matched. But Bai Qi's next words made everyone think even more highly of him. Not bad. You can actually block 30% of my strength. Bai Qi shrugged. You're the Ningyu that the palace master spoke of? There's nothing special about you. 30% of your strength. I was wrong. I admit that I was very wrong. I was wrong too. I regret it. Just now, I looked down on Bai Qi and stood on Ningyu's side. But now, I'm ashamed of my stupidity. Bai Qi is too strong. Using only 30% of his strength, he was able to fight evenly with Ningyu. It's obvious that once he uses his full strength, Ningyu will be easily killed. Bai Qi's status in the city, Lord's Mansion, was very high. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been given the title of Young City Lord. Now that Bai Qi had displayed his terrifying strength, the surrounding city, Lord's Mansion, cultivators naturally flattered him without a trace. Initial third grade Earth Sovereign. While Bai Qi was sizing up Ningyu, Ningyu was also sizing up Bai Qi. Ningyu's expression was a little solemn. Bai Qi was also a peerless genius. If Bai Qi was an ordinary third grade Earth Sovereign, then Ningyu wouldn't be afraid. It was so much so that he could even defeat Bai Qi if he brought out all his trump cards. But Bai Qi was different. Bai Qi was a peerless genius. In other words, Bai Qi was only an initial third grade Earth Sovereign on the surface, but he could defeat a fourth grade Earth Sovereign. With Ningyu's current strength, there was no way he could compete with Bai Qi. Hand over the antidote to the white bone demonic powder, and I can let you go. Although he was a little shocked in his heart, Ningyu remained calm on the surface. He had Bai Feng and Bai Yu as hostages, and Quang Zhan as his trump card. Even if Bai Qi's cultivation was a level higher, he wouldn't be afraid. What's the white bone demonic powder? Why haven't I heard of it before? Bai Qi was feigning ignorance. He definitely wouldn't admit it. The white bone demonic powder was a vicious powder. If Fairy Yun Shi and Master Jiao Mo found out about it, even his father would be in a difficult position. Never heard of it. Ning, you slightly knitted his brows. It's fine if you haven't heard of it. I can explain it to you. There's no need. I don't want to know what the white bone demonic powder is. I just want to ask you, why are you here? Bai Qi waved his hand and said coldly, I'm in seclusion. Because you caused trouble here, I failed my seclusion. You'll have to bear this debt. After thinking for a moment, Bai Qi continued, as long as you give me Lu Wei, I promise I won't cause trouble for you from now on. Ha ha ha, Lu Wei was Bai Qi's to begin with. She should be his concubine. What concubine? Bai Qi isn't married. Marrying him is Lu Wei's good fortune. Lu Swan is not that ugly. He is just as a... Bai Qi can accept him. Hearing Bai Qi's words, the crowd jeered. Everyone knew that Bai Qi had said before entering the forbidden grounds that he wanted to marry Lu Wei. Now that Bai Qi said it in front of Ningyu, it was obvious that he was going to fight against Ningyu. Since they were going to fight sooner or later, he might as well pour oil on the fire and make it happen faster. Lu Wei's face was extremely ugly. She clenched her fists and trembled with anger. Before Ningyu came, they knew that they weren't Bai Qi's match, so they chose to tolerate him. But now Ningyu was here, and he even brought Quang Zhan, a 9th grade Earth Supreme expert. Under such circumstances, not only did Bai Qi not repent, he even took a yard after taking an inch. This was intolerable. Don't be angry. You don't look pretty when you're angry. The corner of Bai Qi's lips curled up as he said to Lu and I, don't follow Ningyu. He's just an 8th grade middle human supreme realm cultivator. I can defeat a cultivator like him with a flip of my hand. Are you sure you can defeat me with a flip of your hand? Ning, you didn't seem to be angry at Bai Qi's mockery. Instead, he twisted his neck and said, anyone who was familiar with Ningyu knew that once Ningyu twisted his neck, it meant that he was furious. Although this was the city lord's mansion, he couldn't let Bai Qi have it easy with his arrogance. Why? You want to spar with me? Bai Qi said coldly, fists and legs have no eyes. I'm afraid that I might accidentally injure you. If I accidentally kill you, it'll be a huge problem. After all, you have the palace master backing you up. I'm so scared. As he spoke, Bai Qi patted his chest with his right hand, pretending to be terrified. Don't try to provoke me. It's useless against me. Ningyu's tone was calm as he continued, I don't want to cause trouble, nor am I afraid of trouble. As he spoke, Ningyu paused for a brief moment before he coldly said, speak. How do you want to die? Uft. Bai Qi was briefly stunned by Ningyu's words before he burst into laughter. How do I want to die? Have you lost your mind? A mere 8th grade Earth Supreme dares to speak to me in such a manner. If it was someone else, I would have sliced you into pieces by now. I'm sorry, but I won't die after you die. Curling his lips, Bai Qi said, after saying so much, do you want to see who's the real deal? Chapter 1441. Chapter 1441. A duel. Bai Qi's unbridled laughter caused the temperature of the entire area to drop by several degrees. Although he said he wouldn't force Lu Wei to do anything, he had already considered Lu Wei to be his exclusive property. Just because of what you said, even if a human helps you today, I will break your limbs and pull out your tendons. Ning Yu was friendly to his friends, but to his enemies he was cruel. Bai Qi was arrogant, extremely arrogant. To deal with someone like Bai Qi, Ning Yu decided to kill him with a single strike, without holding back. Whoosh! In the next instant, Ning Yu's figure flashed, and he charged out in the blink of an eye. As he moved forward, Ning Yu took out the red demon sword and slashed out a huge sword ray. Whoosh! The sword ray tore through the air and appeared in front of Bai Qi. Child's play. Although the sword ray was powerful, Bai Qi didn't care about it at all. He grabbed at the air with his right hand and pushed it out. A ball of Yuan Qi collided with the sword ray in front of him. The ball of Yuan Qi light collided with the sword light. Soon, both of them dissipated from the world. No way. I've already suppressed my cultivation to the 8th grade intermediate human supreme realm. Is this all you've got? After blocking Ning Yu's sword ray, Bai Qi said exaggeratedly, I'll let you have 3 more moves. I won't retaliate during these 3 moves. After that, I'll take the initiative to attack. As you wish. Ning Yu didn't argue with Bai Qi. He slashed out several sword rays. The second move was a dozen sword rays that shot toward Bai Qi at the same time. Whoosh! Unhurriedly, Bai Qi grabbed a few balls of Yuan Qi light from the void, and they collided with the dozens of sword lights. Without a doubt, the sword rays disappeared once again, destroyed by the Yuan Qi balls. The second move, Bai Qi shrugged. Hurry up with the third move. I can't wait to attack, ha ha ha. Ning Yu's expression did not change. Through these 2 moves, he had already tested the density of Bai Qi's Yuan Qi. In terms of vitality, he was a level weaker than Bai Qi. Soul attack. For the third move, Ning Yu decided to use a soul attack. The strength of a soul force at the pinnacle of the 8th rank wrapped around the red demon sword. Then Ning Yu slashed out a sword aura that was as thick as his waist. Chi. The sword ray tore through the air and slashed at Bai Qi's head at a terrifying speed. Bai Qi was finally moved by this move. However, he was merely moved. Although his cultivation was only at the 3rd grade Earth Sovereign realm, his soul energy had reached the 9th grade. Soul attack? With a smirk, Bai Qi said coldly, I'll show you how strong my soul force is. Bai Qi opened his mouth, and a ball of soul power flew out, colliding with Ning Yu's sword ray. This clash was different from the previous 2. Ning Yu's sword ray disappeared, but Bai Qi's soul power was still there. Furthermore, Bai Qi's soul power tore through the air and started to attack. Ning Yu, after 3 moves, it's my turn to attack. Bai Qi's speed was extremely fast. Together with his soul power, he attacked Ning Yu. Bai Qi is a 3rd grade Earth Sovereign. This time, Ning Yu is going to suffer. Ning Yu is doomed. It's just a matter of time. Doomed sooner or later. Isn't it just a matter of time? You're too careless. You have to change. Don't be stubborn. Look, Ning Yu and Bai Qi are facing off. The surrounding cultivators were all optimistic about Bai Qi. Bai Qi's punch, in particular, made them stand firmly behind Bai Qi. Damn it! Seeing that Ning Yu was about to collide with Bai Qi, Lu Wei's expression changed drastically. She clenched her teeth and dashed out with the intention of helping. However, just as Lu Wei took a few steps, Zhanba grabbed her arm and said in a deep voice, Trust Ning Yu. A mere 3rd grade Earth Sovereign can't pose a threat to him. Zhanba knew how powerful Ning Yu was. When he was a 5th grade Earth Sovereign, he could trap a 1st grade Earth Sovereign. Now that he had advanced to 8th grade Earth Sovereign, it shouldn't be a problem for him to fight a 3rd grade Earth Sovereign. But Lu Wei didn't know Ningyu's true strength, nor did she know Ningyu's trump card, so she was very worried. There are no buts. Think about it, Ningyu can even block a Sky Supreme Expert's move, let alone Bai Qi. Zhan Ba persuaded. You don't know what happened during this period of time. Just trust me. Fine. Lu Wei looked at Ningyu, who was about to collide with Bai Qi, and said with gritted teeth, Bang! In the next moment, under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Ningyu and Bai Qi finally collided. Ningyu threw 2 punches, and Bai Qi threw 1. Ningyu's first punch was aimed at Bai Qi's soul power, and the second punch was aimed at Bai Qi's fist. Qi! Bang! 2 sounds rang out in succession. Ningyu and Bai Qi were sent flying at the same time. Evenly matched? Seeing the distance between Ningyu and Bai Qi, the crowd exclaimed, because Ningyu and Bai Qi both took 10 steps back. Clap, clap, clap. Bai Qi clapped his hands and said, As I expected, you have the war god's physique. What? Ningyu has the war god's physique. What's the war god's physique? You're too outdated. You don't even know about the war god's physique. It's a special physique. But why am I telling you this? Watch the fight. Hearing that Ningyu had the war god's physique, the crowd exclaimed again. The war god's physique was terrifying, almost invincible among those of the same level. Only a few physiques could match it. Ningyu's war god's physique was indeed out of everyone's expectation. At this moment, some even rebelled and began to worry for Bai Qi. But what can the war god's physique do? With an indifferent expression, Bai Qi coldly said, The battle god's physique isn't invincible. If you're a 3rd grade Earth Sovereign like me, I might be fearful. But you're only a middle phase 8th grade Earth Sovereign. So killing you is as easy as crushing an ant. Boom! As he spoke, Bai Qi unleashed his aura and soared into the sky. 3rd grade Earth Supreme. Bai Qi was a genuine 3rd grade Earth Supreme. His aura was vigorous and steady. Obviously, he had been in the 3rd grade Earth Supreme realm for a long time. I seem to have heard someone say that he wants to fight me at the same level? Ningyu frowned and said indifferently. Ha ha ha. Bai Qi said unscrupulously, Who wants to fight you at the same level? Is there something wrong with your head? Oh, so you don't want to fight me at the same level. Ningyu nodded and said, If that's the case, I'm more relieved. Bai Qi curled his lips and was about to mock Ningyu, but his mouth was wide open and his face was filled with shock. Relieved? What are you worried about? You can still advance to 3rd grade Earth Supreme. Chapter 1442. Help me. What's going on? Isn't Ningyu an 8th grade mid-human sovereign? How did his aura reach the 3rd grade Earth Supreme realm? You're asking me? Who the hell am I supposed to ask? He must have swallowed some elixir or used some secret technique. It's a trick. Ningyu used demonic arts to trick us. Everyone, let's attack together. We can't let Ningyu fight Bai Qi with this demonic art. It's unfair to Bai Qi. Yeah, let's attack together and execute Ningyu on the spot. Sensing the terrifying aura emanating from Ningyu's body, the surrounding cultivators revealed horrified expressions as they discussed animatedly. It was unheard of for an 8th grade mid-human sovereign to emit the aura of a 3rd grade Earth Supreme realm. You've really surprised me. After a brief moment of shock, Bai Qi curled his lips and said, However, even if you emit the aura of a 3rd grade Earth Supreme realm, you're still no match for me. It'll be effortless for me to kill you. Using a secret technique to raise your aura to the 3rd grade Earth Supreme realm isn't stable. I can easily defeat you in a few moves. Crack! Ningyu twisted his neck and said, You're afraid. Even your body is trembling. Bai Qi was infuriated and shouted, "Nonsense! If you cripple your limbs now, kneel on the ground and kowtow to me a few times, I can spare your life. Since that's the case, let's fight." Taking a deep breath, Ning Yu's figure flashed and appeared beside Bai Qi in the blink of an eye. Clenching his fists, he sent a terrifying Yuan Qi gale towards Bai Qi's chest. Child's play. Bai Qi obviously didn't take this move seriously. He blasted out 2 punches in a row and easily repelled Ning Yu. "Is that all you've got?" After one move, Bai Qi said coldly, "I'll show you what true strength is." As he spoke, Bai Qi quickly formed a seal. Giant shield palm. In the next instant, Bai Qi pushed out his right hand. As Bai Qi growled, a huge palm print appeared in midair. The palm was huge and blood-red in color. Terrifying 9th level soul power pulsated on it. Giant shield palm? Facing the huge blood-red palm print that was rushing towards him, Ning Yu did something that shocked everyone. He did not attack the palm print. Instead, he slowly closed his eyes. "Ha ha ha! Ning Yu is scared silly. Bai Qi, hurry up and cripple his limbs. This is the city, Lord's mansion. How could that trash, Ning Yu, do anything here? Kill him. We must kill him today." Everyone cried out in ecstasy. They clearly knew how terrifying the power of Bai Qi's palm was. As a 3rd-grade Earth Sovereign, the giant shield palm that Bai Qi executed could even confront an ordinary 4th-grade Earth Sovereign. Ning Yu had only used a secret technique to raise his aura to that of a 3rd-grade Earth Sovereign. How could he possibly be a match for Bai Qi? It was still unknown whether Bai Qi could block the palm print, let alone counterattack. None of the cultivators in the area believed that Ning Yu could withstand the palm print and launch a counterattack. Ning Yu did not care what the crowd was thinking, nor did he have the time to care. He had already immersed his consciousness into the interspatial ring and started to communicate with the sapling. "I'll give you control of your body. How confident are you in defeating Bai Qi?" As soon as Bai Qi appeared, Ning Yu had already thought of a way out. He was definitely no match for Bai Qi in a head-on fight. After all, there was a huge gap between their cultivation levels. However, just because he was no match for Bai Qi didn't mean that the sapling was no match for Bai Qi. During this period of time, the sapling had used a secret technique to forcefully devour the branch of the world tree that had obtained from 100 Flowers, heavenly sovereign in the void realm. In addition to the terrifying energy contained in by his body, the sapling's cultivation had already stabilized at the 3rd-grade Earth Sovereign realm. Furthermore, it was at the pinnacle 3rd-grade Earth Sovereign realm. With the pinnacle 3rd-grade Earth Sovereign realm cultivation, it naturally wouldn't be difficult for the sapling to deal with Bai Qi. Don't worry. With Bai He supporting me, that Bai Qi can only last 3 moves at most. The sapling focused its attention on Bai He. Bai He was a 9th-grade Earth Sovereign. The energy contained in his body was extremely terrifying. As he devoured the energy to replenish himself, he turned into an afterimage and started to control Ning Yu's body. "I'm going to kill him." The sapling's face drastically changed the moment it took control of Ning Yu's body. He saw that the huge palm had already arrived in front of him and was only half a foot away from his head. "Shatter!" The sapling gently tapped with its right hand. In an instant, the huge palm print stopped and floated in the air. Crack! A crisp sound resounded. Without a doubt, the blood-red palm print had broken into several pieces. "This is impossible. How is this possible? The giant shield palm is Bai Qi's famous technique. Who is Ning Yu to be able to block Bai Qi's giant shield palm?" "I feel that Ning Yu is a pinnacle 9th-grade Earth Sovereign. He must be pretending to be a pig to eat a tiger. Quick! Contact the City Lord and get him here. Russell." Ning Yu's brilliant defense caused the surrounding cultivators to retreat. "Look, what's going on?" Ningyu is starting to counterattack. What happened next caused the surrounding martial artists to be even more shocked. Not only did Ningyu block Bai Chi's attack, he even wanted to launch an attack to deal a fatal blow to Bai Chi. Block it. Bai Chi maintained a calm expression and did not panic. He was a third-grade Earth sovereign with plenty of trump cards. Even if he faced a fourth-grade Earth sovereign, he still had the chance to confront and even kill the latter. What? In the next moment, Bai Chi was completely dumbfounded. The second and third palm prints shattered at the same time. Ningyu had appeared in front of him without him knowing. Bai Chi's figure quickly moved and executed his unique movement technique, the giant shield movement technique. Outside the bronze door, Bai Chi moved left and right at lightning speed. Ningyu stood on the spot with his eyes slightly opened, as if he was looking for Bai Chi's movement trajectory. Humph! Even if you're a real third-grade Earth Sovereign, you won't be able to find my movement trajectory. Bai Chi snorted arrogantly. In fact, Bai Chi had the right to be arrogant. His attainments in movement techniques were even better than many advanced Earth Sovereigns. Using his movement technique to disrupt Ningyu's vision was also a good idea. Are you done? My head is spinning. With an indifferent expression, Ningyu suddenly stretched out his right hand. Bai Chi, who was moving at lightning speed, was forcefully pulled down by Ningyu. Ningyu suddenly exerted force on Bai Chi's arm. Bang! Like a kite with its string cut, Bai Chi was sent flying and slammed into a cultivator of the city, Lord's mansion. Uff. Chapter 1443. Chapter 1443. Chapter 1443. White Shield Boom. Seeing Bai Chi spit out blood, the surrounding cultivators were all stunned on the spot, their faces full of confusion. Bai Chi lost? Bai Chi was a grade 3 Earth Supreme, the most powerful genius of the giant shield city's younger generation. How could he lose? Damn it! Standing up with difficulty, Bai Chi wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and said coldly, Ningyu, I admit that you're strong, but you're still lacking if you want to kill me. I'll give you a chance now. Hurry up and leave, and I can let bygones be bygones. Bai Chi was very smart. He knew that he was no match for Ningyu, so he spoke righteously, wanting Ningyu to back off. Bai Chi can still fight. Of course he can. Bai Chi is the most powerful genius among the younger generation of Giant Shield City. I don't think he used his full strength just now. No wonder Ningyu was able to gain the upper hand. So Bai Chi wasn't using his full strength. Bai Chi, why are you wasting your breath on Ningyu? Hurry up and defeat him. Hearing the words of the surrounding cultivators, Bai Chi's face darkened. He originally wanted to find a way out of this embarrassing situation, but the surrounding martial artists jeered at him, making him feel very embarrassed. If he fought, he wouldn't be a match for Ningyu. If he didn't fight, he would lose face. For a moment, Bai Chi was in a dilemma. I've said that I'll break your limbs, so I'll definitely keep my promise. Ningyu didn't care about what the martial artists around him were saying. He stomped his feet on the ground and his body shot out. Bai Chi had bullied Lu Wei and the others when he was not here. He must take revenge. What do you want? Seeing the approaching Ningyu, Bai Chi's expression changed greatly as he hurriedly called out. However, as soon as his voice rang out, he once again let out a blood-curdling shriek that sounded like a pig being slaughtered. Kacha! Ningyu's fist landed on Bai Chi's right arm and broke it. The first one. After breaking Bai Chi's right arm, Ningyu did not stop there. He immediately followed up with a second punch. Ningyu's target this time was Bai Chi's left arm. Did the left and right hands have to be symmetrical? Otherwise, how ugly would it look? Die. However, before Ningyu's fist could land on Bai Chi's left arm, something strange happened. The void above Ningyu suddenly broke. A huge palm appeared out of thin air and grabbed at Ningyu's head. Obviously, this big hand didn't want to give Ningyu a chance to live, so it immediately used a killing move. You go first. At the critical moment, Kwang Zhan appeared beside Ningyu and pushed Ningyu several feet away. Then, Berserker's right hand suddenly enlarged and collided with the palm that appeared in the void. Rumble! The two palms collided and the void cracked. Pucci! Kwang Zhan spat out a large mouthful of blood, and his face became extremely pale. Buzz! Then, a middle-aged man walked out of thin air and appeared beside Bai Qi in the blink of an eye. Crack! The middle-aged man pinched Bai Qi's arm and exerted a little force. Along with a cracking sound, Bai Qi's arm was easily reattached. You go back first. The middle-aged man first reprimanded Bai Qi, then turned to Ningyu and said, "This is the city, Lord's mansion. How dare you behave so atrociously here? Are you tired of living? You're the city lord of Giant Shield City?" Ningyu did not directly answer the middle-aged man's question. Instead, he said in a deep voice, "Are you trying to interfere in our spar?" Humph! Impudent! A mere 8th grade intermediate human supreme dares to speak to me in this manner. With a cold snort, the middle-aged man stretched out his right hand and quickly grabbed at Ningyu. Uft! Uft! Everywhere the middle-aged man's palm passed through, the space cracked. It was extremely terrifying. Bai Qi, what are you trying to do? Just as the middle-aged man's palm was about to land on Ningyu's body, another cultivator appeared from the other side of the void. When this cultivator appeared, he similarly stretched out his right hand and clashed head-on with the middle-aged man's palm. After a single move, both sides were evenly matched. Dao Master Chi Mo, this brat injured my son and is lawless. Today, I'll give him a taste of suffering. Bai Chi Mo said indifferently, as if he did not place Dao Master Chi Mo in his eyes. Given Dao Master Chi Mo's current state, if Bai Chi Mo went all out, he could still defeat him. In other words, ever since the battle outside the city, Dao Master Chi Mo had become the second strongest expert in Giant Shield City. You dare to touch someone that the palace lord has found? Dao Master Chi Mo said coldly. What do you mean I'm not touching? I'm just trying to restrain him, lest he disobeys me. Bai Chi Mo curled his lips and made his move once again, this time towards Ningyu. With a great enemy before us, don't blame me for being impolite if anyone dares to cause internal strife. Just as Bai Chi Mo's hand flew halfway, he suddenly retracted it. That's because a cold voice resounded in this region. Bring Ningyu over. Everyone else, disperse. Rustle. The surrounding experts of the city, Lord's mansion, dispersed in an uproar. They knew who the speaker was, the strongest expert of Giant Shield City, the owner of the 100 Flowers fan, Fairy Yun Shi. Even their city lord, Bai Chi Mo, couldn't last more than a few moves in Fairy Yun Shi's hands. Now that Fairy Yun Shi had spoken, they naturally did not dare to delay. Let's go. Dao Master Chi Mo grabbed onto Ningyu and tore through space, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Let's wait and see. A cold smile rose on the corner of Bai Chi's lips as he grabbed onto Bai Chi and chased after them. Clean up this place. Although they had left, Bai Chi Mo still transmitted his voice to the experts of the city lord's mansion. What should we do now? After Ning Yu's group left, Lu Wei and the rest shifted their gazes towards Kwang Zhan. Kwang Zhan was a 9th grade Earth sovereign with extremely powerful strength. Even if he blocked a move from Bai Chi Mo, he didn't suffer any heavy injuries. Let's return to the Giant Shield Pavilion first. Before Ningyu left, he had instructed Kwang Zhan to ensure the safety of Lu Wei and the rest. The reason why Ningyu gave such an important task to Kwang Zhan was because aside from Fairy Yin Shi, Dao Master Chi Mo, and Bai Chi Mo, Kwang Zhan was the strongest in Giant Shield City. Kwang Zhan was qualified for this task. All right, Lu Wei and the rest wanted to look for Ningyu, but they knew that with their current strength, they wouldn't be of much help. If they obediently stayed in the giant shield pavilion, it would be the greatest support for Ningyu. At the same time, Dao Master Chi Mo brought Ningyu to the left and right of the city lord's mansion, passing through several terrifying restrictions, before finally stopping in an empty region. This region was as empty as the wilderness, with nothing in it. Rustle, rustle. Not long after, Bai Qi and Bai Qi descended. Whoosh! Shortly after, Fairy Yun, she appeared as well. Let's go in. Fairy Yun, she did not speak any further. She stretched her right hand out and tore a huge crack in the space before her and walked in first. With Bai Qi in tow, Bai Shield swaggered into the gap. This place is very special. Seeing Ning Yu's doubtful gaze, Dao Master Chi Mo explained, refining pills here can yield twice the result with half the effort. I know. Chapter 1444. Chapter 1444. Refining pellets. This, after entering the spatial crack, Ningyu was dumbfounded. This place was different from what he had imagined. There were only 2 people in the spatial crack. He knew one of them. It was Xielon, the palace master of the Centauria Palace. As for the second person, Ningyu had never seen him before, but with Ningyu's keen senses, he could tell that the second cultivator was an initial 9th grade Earth Sovereign with a terrifying pinnacle 9th grade soul force. Liquefaction. There were 3 stages for a pinnacle 9th grade alchemist soul force. Liquefaction, liquefaction into pellets, and breaking through the pellet to become an emperor. The soul force of this initial 9th grade Earth Sovereign had already reached the level of liquefaction and was infinitely close to turning into a pellet. Once his soul force broke through to the pellet stage, he would be able to reign supreme in the pellet formation continent. Only a few alchemists could surpass him. He's Ningyu. When the 9th grade Earth Sovereign saw Ningyu, he briefly examined Ningyu and said, Pinnacle 8th grade Earth Sovereign Realm Spiritual Force. Are you guys sure that he can refine the soul-luring pellet? You should know that we have prepared 2 sets of ingredients for the soul-luring pill. I was only half a step away from successfully refining the first set. If I were to refine the second set of ingredients, I would have an 80% success rate. I know what I'm doing. Hearing the 9th grade Earth Sovereign's words, the palace master knitted her brows. Let Ningyu refine the second set of materials for the soul-luring pellet. All right, I'll see what Ningyu is capable of. The 9th grade Earth Sovereign's face was unsightly as he took a few steps back and stood before Bai Shield. Circulating his soul force, the 9th grade Earth Sovereign transmitted his voice to Bai Shield. What's going on? Didn't you tell me to refine both sets of materials? I'm about to succeed in the first set. As long as I have enough time, I'll definitely be able to refine the second set. The situation has changed. Let's wait and see for now. White Shield's expression was very calm as he sent a mental message. What's there to look at? If we want to control the palace master, we can only tamper with the soul-luring pellet. But now the second soul-luring pellet has been refined by that brat. What are we going to do? The 9th grade initial phase Earth Sovereign was furious. Don't worry, I've already grasped the core formation eye of giant shield cities, peerless killing formation. When the experts of 100 Flower City come to attack, I'll secretly open a gap in the peerless killing formation. White Shield said gloomily. Right now, Fairy Yunxi is here, so it's not convenient for us to attack. This is really troublesome. In my opinion, we should just activate the enhanced version of White Bone Demonic Powder. Fairy Yunxi, Reverend Shenemo, all of them will be under our control. The 9th grade Earth Sovereign impatiently said, You have to listen to me this time. If that Ningyu manages to refine the soul-luring pellet, I will immediately use the strengthened White Bone Demonic Powder. You guys have to take the antidote first. Sure. After a brief pondering, White Shield nodded his head and agreed with the ninth grade Earth Sovereign's decision. Ningyu, I never thought that you would be a middle phase 8th grade Earth Sovereign after we parted in the horizontal canyon. The Palace Master smiled towards Ningyu. I've already found the ingredients for the soul-luring pellet, so you can help me refine it now, right? You can't go back on your words. I'll naturally keep my words. But before I refine the soul-luring pellet, I have something to ask you. Ningyu shrugged. What is it? The Palace Master asked in puzzlement. Do you know what happened to Lu Wei and the rest in the city, Lord's mansion? Ningyu stared at the Palace Master's eyes and spoke in a low voice. Hearing Ningyu's words, the Palace Master's gaze flickered, but she quickly concealed it. What happened to Lu Wei and the rest? This is the giant shield city. Did they encounter anything bad? The Palace Master's expression was exaggerated as she looked at Bai Shield. I've instructed you to take good care of Lu Wei and the rest. Did you mistreat them? How is that possible? Bai Shield patted his chest and guaranteed. I treated them with the highest standard, and I definitely didn't let them suffer any grievances. All right, I can rest assured with City, Lord, by handling it. The Palace Master nodded her head and continued. Ningyu, tell me if there's anything. As long as someone dares to bully Lu Wei and the rest, I will definitely stand up for them. It's fine, I'm just casually asking. The conversation between Bai Shield and the Palace Master made Ningyu fall into deep thought. Right now, Grandmaster Xingyan had yet to recover to his peak, and the silhouette in the 10th level of the Ascension Pagoda had yet to control the 3 heavenly sovereigns. With Ningyu's current strength, he could only hide in the Ascension Pagoda if he encountered danger. Ningyu wasn't worried about his own safety, but Lu Wei and the rest weren't as lucky. Grandmaster Xingyan, how long will it take for you to recover to your peak? Ningyu immediately contacted Grandmaster Xingyan. 3 hours at most. Grandmaster Xingyan replied. 3 hours, huh? Just 3 more hours, Ningyu murmured. If Grandmaster Xingyan recovered to his peak, he could definitely contend with ordinary heavenly sovereigns with the Ascension Pagoda. As for now, Ningyu didn't want to fall out with them for the time being. Wasn't it just refining the soul-luring pellet? He could drag it out for 3 to 4 hours, anyway. Palace Master Xingyan, I can refine the soul-luring pellet, but I need Yuan crystals, a large amount of Emperor-grade Yuan crystals. The crystals in Ningyu's possession had already been almost exhausted. Since he was working for the Palace Master Xingyan, asking for some Yuan crystals wasn't a big deal. City Lord Bai, give Ningyu some Emperor-grade Yuan crystals, said the Palace Master Xingyan. Swish! Bai Dun reluctantly pulled out a storage pouch from his robes and tossed it to Ningyu. Pa! Ningyu caught the interspatial pouch and probed it with his perception before curling his lips. The City Lord of Giant Shield City only has a few Emperor-grade Yuan crystals. Uft! Ningyu's words nearly made Bai Shield spit out a mouthful of blood. There were a total of 100,000 Emperor-grade Yuan crystals in the interspatial pouch. He didn't need to explain how precious they were. He was a 9th grade Earth Sovereign right now and cultivated with Emperor-grade Yuan crystals. Now that he had taken out 100,000 Emperor-grade Yuan crystals, Ningyu actually thought it was too little. Forget it, 100,000 it is. Ningyu took out an Emperor-grade origin crystal from his storage pouch and threw it into his mouth. Crack! He exerted a little force, and the Emperor-grade Yuan crystal completely shattered. Terrifying Yuan Qi surged into Ningyu's sea of consciousness. Come back! Ningyu's face turned cold. He directly activated the spirit transformation technique and controlled the Yuan Qi to flow into his interspatial ring. Oh my god! Finally, there are Emperor-grade Yuan crystals. In the interspatial ring, The sapling and the Dark Emperor were about to cry. After such a long time, they hadn't even seen an ordinary royal grade yuan crystal, let alone an emperor grade yuan crystal. Now that there were emperor grade yuan crystals, they were naturally excited. Ningyu, devour 10,000 emperor grade yuan crystals first. We need the yuan qi inside them. Chapter 1445. Chapter 1445. Impossible. Stop messing around. Ning Yu's face darkened when he heard the sapling and the Dark Emperor's words. How dare they dream of 10,000 emperor-grade origin crystals? I'll have to devour them for God knows how long. What do you mean, stop messing around? As long as you give me 10,000 emperor-grade origin crystals, I can advance to the 4th grade Earth Supreme Realm. The sapling immediately said he was willing to go all out for the emperor-grade origin crystals. Ningyu, don't listen to him. Give me 10,000 emperor-grade origin crystals, and I can advance to the 7th grade Earth Supreme Realm. The Dark Emperor said sarcastically, the sapling is a 3rd grade Earth Supreme Realm now. Even if you give him 20,000 emperor-grade origin crystals, he won't be able to advance to the 4th grade Earth Supreme Realm. What do you mean? The sapling raged. Nothing. I just want to remind you not to take everything for yourself. The Dark Emperor refused to back down. Shut up. I'll give each of you 10,000 emperor-grade origin crystals. Ningyu was also afraid that the sapling and the Dark Emperor's quarrel would affect his refinement of the soul-luring pill. After all, there was only one set of ingredients for the soul-luring pill. If something went wrong, the consequences would be unimaginable. With a thought, Ningyu divided the emperor-grade origin crystals in his interspatial pouch into 3 portions. 2 of them were given to the sapling and the Dark Emperor, while he kept the last one for himself. Forget it. I'll give the Law of Space one. Ningyu pondered for a moment before taking out another emperor-grade origin crystal and tossing it into his storage ring. The sapling and the Dark Emperor weren't the only things in the interspatial ring, but also the Law of Space. Although the Law of Space didn't say anything, Ningyu still took out 10,000 emperor-grade origin crystals and gave them to the Law of Space. The 3 fellows in the interspatial ring weren't easy to deal with. Ning, you didn't want to be distracted by them. Can we start now? The White Shield said coldly when he saw that Ning, you hadn't started refining the soul-luring pill yet. What's the rush? Ningyu rolled his eyes and said, just emperor-grade origin crystals aren't enough to refine the soul guide pill. You'll need a pill furnace and a mysterious flame as well. I have an alchemy furnace. With a flick of his wrist, a palm-sized pill furnace appeared in his hand. Whoosh! With a sudden burst of strength in his right hand, Bai Shield threw the pill furnace at Ningyu. Chi-chi! The pill furnace's flying speed was very fast. In the blink of an eye, it arrived in front of Ningyu. Ningyu, my pill furnace is ranked 101st on the pill furnace heaven list. It's more than enough to refine the soul-luring pill. Bai Shield said proudly, you want to test me? Ningyu's lips curled into a cold smile as he stared at the approaching cauldron. In the next moment, a gorgeous flame appeared on Ningyu's right hand, and he abruptly stuck it to the pill furnace. This is... Seeing the flames on Ningyu's palm, Bai Shield and the 9th grade Earth Sovereign beside him had astonished expressions. Needless to say, the 9th grade Earth Sovereign was an alchemist. Furthermore, his spiritual energy had reached the level of liquefying. Bai Shield was also an alchemist. Although his alchemy wasn't high, he was a genuine 8th grade alchemist. The myriad bone flame that's ranked in the top 30 of the mysterious flames ranking. For a brief moment, Bai Shield and the 9th grade Earth Sovereign were dumbfounded. However, they were still dumbfounded by what happened next. Crack! A crisp sound rang out. In the next moment, the the pill cauldron that By Shield had summoned shattered under the burning of the 1,000-bone flame. The sudden change had caused By Shield's face to turn ugly. At the same time, By Shield inwardly rejoiced that he had only brought out a furnace that was ranked 101st on the heavenly ranking, and not in the top 50. Your pill furnace is too inferior. I'll use my own. Ning Yu casually threw the fragments of the pill furnace away and took out a pill furnace from his bosom. The Nihility pill furnace. The Nihility pill furnace was ranked 30th on the heavenly ranking, and it could withstand the myriad bone flame. How can you possess the Nihility pill furnace? Seeing the pill furnace that Ning Yu had taken out, the 9th grade Earth Sovereign spoke out before By Shield could even speak. Speak! How did you obtain it? Palatial Lord Bai, someone is blindly speaking and affecting my refinement of the soul-luring pellet. Ning Yu shrugged. He did not answer the 9th grade Earth Sovereign's question, but turned towards the Palatial Lord Bai. City Lord Bai, I'll have to trouble you guys to leave for a moment. The Palatial Lord Bai looked at By Shield before looking at the leisurely Ning Yu and said, You guys can come in after Ning Yu refines the soul-luring pellet. We'll stand by the side and not speak another word. By Shield glared at the 9th grade Earth Sovereign and continued, Ning Yu is only a middle phase 8th grade Earth Sovereign, and there might be some problems when he refines the soul-luring pellet. With the two of us here, we might be able to help. The Palatial Lord Bai did not reply to By Shield, but looked at Ning Yu, seeking for Ning Yu's opinion. I'm fine with it. I just hope that City Lord Bai can help me out properly and not hide anything. As he spoke, Ning Yu threw the Nihility pill furnace in his hand into the air and casually picked up an ingredient and threw it into the furnace. Ning Yu's words made the corners of Bai Dun's mouth twitch involuntarily. Not hide anything. I've already given you 100,000 Emperor-grade origin crystals. Are you trying to squeeze me dry? Don't worry, you can't catch the wolf without risking it. The 9th grade Earth Sovereign said in a low voice. That's the only thing we can do now. I hope that Ning Yu can consider the bigger picture and not be too ruthless. By Shield sighed. He had already prepared himself to be scammed by Ning Yu. Sizzle! Sizzle! However, Ning Yu seemed to have forgotten to scam By Shield. He controlled the myriad bone flame to burn the bottom of the Nihility pill furnace. After about 5 minutes, the first medicinal ingredient that was thrown into the cauldron was completely refined and turned into a pure liquid. I was wondering how powerful Ning Yu was, so it turns out that he's just a wax statue. Seeing that Ning Yu only took 5 minutes to refine the first ingredient, the 9th grade Earth Sovereign beside By Shield curled his lips in disdain. One must know that when he refined the soul-luring pellet, he only took a minute to refine the first ingredient. There were roughly a few hundred herbs required to refine the soul-luring pellet. With Ning Yu's speed, how long would it take for him to succeed? Don't say that. Perhaps Ning Yu is using a new refining method. By Shield shook his head, but no matter how one looked at it, By Shield's words seemed to be directed at the Palace Master. Palace Master, are you sure that Ning Yu can refine the soul-luring pellet? Fairy Yun, she slightly knitted her brows. She was also doubtful. After all, Fairy Yun, she didn't have a good understanding of Ning Yu. She knew that Ning Yu was powerful in the martial Tao, but she had no idea about his standard in the alchemy Tao. Even the alchemy Grandmaster that By Shield invited couldn't refine it. Isn't it a little rash to let Ning Yu refine it? Perfected Master Hung, Mo agreed. It's not rash. Believe in Ning Yu. The Palace Master didn't want to speak further on this matter. Even if she did, Fairy Yun Shi and the rest wouldn't believe her. Ning Yu would definitely be able to refine the soul-luring pellet, at least with a 90% success rate. That's because it was Ning Yu who suggested using the soul-luring technique to control the mysterious expert of the 100 Flowers Palace. Chapter 1446. Revenge. All right. Since the Centauria Palace Lord had put it this way, Fairy Yin Shi and Perfected Devil did not pursue the matter. Since the Centauria Palace Lord believed in Ningyu, they could only follow suit. However, they had their doubts as to whether Ningyu could refine the soul-luring pill. City Lord Bai, come and help. Right then, Ningyu suddenly exerted strength and tossed the elixir cauldron into the air. Ningyu hooked his finger at Bai Dun and said, "Divert half of your soul power into the elixir cauldron." Uft! Bai Dun nearly spat out a mouthful of blood when he heard Ningyu's words. How was this asking for his help? This was clearly revenge. Why? City Lord Bai seemed to have said that he would definitely help as long as he could. Are you just saying that? Ningyu revealed a shocked expression and said exaggeratedly, "Looks like City Lord Bai has some troubles that you can't reveal. It's fine if you don't want to help, but I hope that you won't spout nonsense in the future. It might affect your reputation." Sigh. Subsequently, Ningyu sighed softly and murmured, "How troublesome. I could have refined the soul-luring pill in an hour, but it seems like I'll need at least 3 to 4 days." Uft! Ningyu's low voice was very loud. As a result, everyone in the area heard it clearly. Bai Dun nearly spat out another mouthful of blood. "You're clearly taking revenge on me." City Lord Bai, don't you want to refine the soul-luring pill as soon as possible? How could the Centauria Palace Lord not know what Ningyu was thinking? However, so what if she knew? She had let Ningyu down first, and could only try her best to salvage the situation. After all, given her relationship with Ningyu, getting Ningyu to help her refine the soul-luring pill was not a problem at all. However, she had assumed that the pill refiner at the peak of the 9th level that Bai Dun had brought along could refine the soul-luring pill, so she had turned a blind eye to what had happened to Lu Wei and the others. It was not until the 9th grade pill refiner failed to refine the soul-luring pill that she made up her mind to trust Ningyu unconditionally, because whether or not she could successfully cultivate the soul guidance technique depended entirely on Ningyu. Damn it! Cursing inwardly, Bai Shield could only divide half of his soul force into the nihility pill furnace in front of everyone. Combine. As soon as Bai Dun's soul force entered the pill furnace, Ningyu flicked his right hand and closed the lid of the nihility pill furnace. Immediately, Ningyu activated the 10,000 bone flame and started to burn the bottom of the cauldron. Chi-chi! A crisp sound came from within the pill furnace. Ah! The crisp sound was followed by Bai Dun's blood-curdling scream. "What the hell are you doing?" Bai Dun was enraged and even wanted to attack Ningyu. "You are taking revenge on me." Letting my soul force enter the nihility pill furnace has no effect on refining the soul-luring pill at all. You say it's useless. Ningyu curled his lips. Then he grabbed several medicinal ingredients, opened the lid, and threw all of them into the pill furnace. As the 10,000 bone flame continued to burn the pill furnace, the medicinal ingredients that Ningyu had just thrown in actually turned into pure medicinal liquids. "Bring me the jade bottles," Ningyu shouted. Swish, swish, swish. Fairy Yin, she did not dare to delay, and hurriedly threw dozens of jade bottles to Ningyu. Ningyu opened the lid of the nihility pill furnace and carefully separated the medicinal liquids before storing them into the jade bottles. "Thank you, City Lord Bai." When he was done, Ningyu smiled at Bai Dun and said, "Rest for now. I can still use your soul force in about half an hour. Sorry, my stomach suddenly hurts, so I'll be leaving first." Bai Dun shivered. He would need a long time to recover from the half of his soul force he had just lost, and he would also need to consume a lot of treasures. If he stayed any longer, the other half of his soul force might fall into Ningyu's trap. Instead of staying, it was better to leave first and wait for an opportunity. I've already sealed the surroundings with 100 flower fan. No one can leave before Ningyu refines the soul-luring pill. Fairy Yin, she said indifferently when she saw that Bai Dun was about to leave. Bai Dun, helplessly stopped in his tracks. He was strong, but it wouldn't be easy for him to break through the 100 flower fans' defense. Prepare the enhanced white bone demonic powder. As long as Ningyu refines the soul-luring pill, will immediately activate the white bone demonic powder and capture them all. Baidan transmitted his voice to the 9th grade Earth Supreme. His tone was extremely cold. I've already prepared it. Let's not clash with them for now. The 9th grade Earth Supreme said expressionlessly. Swish, swish, swish. In the air, Ningyu continuously threw medicinal ingredients into the incorporeal pill furnace. Every few seconds, a medicinal ingredient would be refined. As time passed, Ningyu's refining speed became faster and faster. Roughly half an hour later, Ningyu had completely refined all the medicinal ingredients. This Ningyu really isn't simple. The fact that Ningyu had completely refined all the medicinal ingredients in half an hour shocked the 9th grade Earth Supreme. Even he, an alchemist whose soul force had reached the level of liquefying, would need more than 40 minutes to completely refine all the medicinal ingredients. Just who was Ningyu? To be able to completely refine all the medicinal ingredients in half an hour. Could it be that Baidan's soul force really had an unexpected effect? If Ningyu knew what the 9th grade Earth Supreme was thinking, he would probably laugh out loud. In fact, refining all the medicinal ingredients for the soul-luring pill in half an hour was far from Ningyu's limit. With Ningyu's soul force at the pinnacle of the 8th grade, he could refine all the medicinal ingredients in 10 minutes at most. After all, the soul-luring pill was only an 8th grade elixir, and Ningyu had mastered all the techniques to refine it. It wasn't difficult for him to refine it. The reason why Ningyu was stalling for time was because of Master Xingyun. Master Xingyun needed 3 hours, so Ningyu had to stall for 3 hours. There are still 2.5 hours left. How can I stall for time? After refining all the medicinal ingredients, Ningyu felt that it was a little tricky. He had to stall for time, and at the same time he couldn't find any flaws. After thinking about it, Ningyu felt that he could only find trouble with Baidan. Cough, cough. After coughing twice, Ningyu looked at Baidan and said, City Lord Bai, I want. What do you want? I don't want to. Baidan's heart trembled. He immediately waved his hand and said, My soul force has been heavily injured. I can't help you anymore. You've misunderstood me. I want your son, Bai Qi, to come and help. Ningyu lied without the slightest bit of guilt. He rolled his eyes and grabbed a few jade bottles. He said, I want Bai Qi to help me fuse these medicinal liquids together. No problem. Baidan originally didn't want to agree to Ningyu's request, but after thinking about it, he made up his mind. Baidan said in a clear voice, As long as you can help refine the soul-luring pill, our Bai family will not hesitate. Go and be serious. Don't mess it up. Chapter 1447. I will. Bai Qi nodded and walked towards Ningyu. Bai Qi's speed wasn't too fast. It took him 3 minutes to reach Ningyu. Bai Qi's speed wasn't too fast. It took him a full 3 minutes to arrive in front of Ningyu. Fuse these 2 herbs together. Ningyu didn't care about Bai Qi's speed. The slower Bai Qi walked, the better it was for him. Truth be told, he was very dissatisfied that Bai Qi took 3 minutes to reach him. But even if he was dissatisfied, Ningyu still threw the 2 jade bottles to Bai Qi and said, I'll give you 10 minutes. After throwing the 2 jade bottles to Bai Qi, Ningyu no longer paid attention to Bai Qi and focused on fusing the liquids. Sizzle. Almost every minute, Ningyu would fuse several bottles of liquids together. Furthermore, Ningyu's speed was getting faster and faster, to a terrifying extent. Everyone, including the palace master, shifted their gazes towards Ningyu and Ningyu. However, Ningyu's attention was secretly placed on Bai Qi. As Ningyu rapidly fused the liquids, He paid attention to Bai Qi's movements. On the surface, Bai Qi seemed to be focused on fusing the liquids, but that wasn't the case. Ningyu saw a cold light fly out from Bai Qi's sleeve and enter the jade bottle without anyone noticing. Then, Bai Qi continued to fuse the liquids as if nothing had happened. "Something's wrong." Ningyu's expression turned extremely grave. It seemed that his attempt to refine the soul-luring pill had indeed ruined Bai Dun's plans. Even though he knew about Bai Qi's actions, Ningyu still didn't make a sound. The situation was very complicated. Even if Ningyu exposed Bai Qi in front of everyone, it wouldn't help. Firstly, Bai Dun was a pinnacle 9th grade Earth Supreme, so he definitely had a trump card. Secondly, the 9th grade early phase Earth Supreme beside the white shield was an alchemist that had condensed qi into liquid. His soul force was extremely strong. Finally, this was the territory of the city, Lord's Mansion. Although the surroundings were controlled by Fairy Yun, she's 100-flower fan. Who knew if the white shield could break through? After much consideration, Ningyu decided not to alert the enemy. Everything would have to wait until Master Nebula fully recovered. All right. Bai Qi's sense of time was very good. 10 minutes later, he had perfectly combined the medicinal liquid in the 2 jade bottles. With a flick of his wrist, the jade bottle containing the medicinal liquid flew toward Ningyu. "Go in!" Ningyu suddenly leaped up and kicked the jade bottle with his right foot, sending it into the Nihility pill furnace. Success! Seeing Ningyu's actions, the White Shield and the 9th grade Initial Earth Supreme were overjoyed. He placed the strengthened version of White Bone Magic Powder into the Nihility Alchemy furnace. Now, the White Shield and the 9th grade Initial Earth Supreme were even looking forward to Ningyu refining the soul-luring pill. That was because as long as Ningyu could refine the soul-luring pill, the Palace Master would definitely consume it. Once the Palace Master consumed the soul-luring pill that contained the strengthened version of White Bone Magic Powder, the poison would attack her heart and she would fall under their control. Next, I'll try not to offend Ningyu. The White Shield and the 9th grade Initial Earth Supreme were determined not to offend Ningyu, lest something unexpected happened. Whether they could succeed or not depended on whether Ningyu could refine the soul-luring pill. Drip, drip. Time continued to pass. Ningyu's speed also increased. In just an hour and a half, Ningyu had entered the final stage of refining the soul-luring pill. Pill formation. As long as there were no accidents during the pill formation stage, the soul-luring pill would be a success. We still have to drag it out for another hour and a half, Ningyu said helplessly. Probably only Ningyu dared to drag the pill formation stage for another hour and a half. Everyone knew that the pill formation stage was very special. It couldn't be too short nor too long. If it was too short, it would affect the quality of the pill. If it was too long, the success rate would be extremely low. Under normal circumstances, half an hour was the best time to refine the soul-luring pill. But now, Ningyu actually wanted to drag it out for another hour and a half. If the other alchemists knew about this, they would probably be speechless. Is it about to form? At this moment, the most anxious cultivators in the area were the Palace Master Hua. Whether Ningyu could refine the soul-luring pill or not depended on whether she could successfully cultivate the soul-luring technique. Right now, her main body was already at an absolute disadvantage in the fight against the mysterious expert. If she couldn't find a way to cultivate the soul-luring technique and use her trapped soul power to deal with the mysterious expert, the consequences would be unimaginable. There shouldn't be any problems. It was only now that Fairy Yin Shi and Perfected Devil's worries were slightly alleviated. At this point, they were completely convinced by Ningyu. After all, it was very difficult for a peak level 9 alchemist, brought by Shield, to even reach this step. Please don't let any problems occur. Bai Shield was highly focused. He didn't want any problems to occur now. However, under everyone's gazes, Ningyu didn't form the pill. Half an hour passed, and Ning Yu still hadn't formed the pill. An hour passed, and Ning Yu still hadn't formed the pill. What the hell is he doing? It's best if the soul-luring pill is formed in half an hour. Why is Ning Yu still dragging it out? Bai Shield's expression was very ugly. If not for the palace master Hua and the others, he would have already cursed it out loud. As for the others, they also had ugly expressions. An hour had passed, and he still hadn't formed the pill. Could something have gone wrong? Grandmaster Xingyan, have you really recovered? Ning, you didn't care about the changes in Bai Sealed and the others' expressions. At this moment, his attention was completely focused on the Yuzuan pagoda. Grandmaster Xingyan had said that it would take 3 hours for him to completely recover. Who would have thought that only 2.5 hours had passed and Grandmaster Xingyan had completely recovered? This news was especially timely for Ningyu, because if this dragged on, even he didn't have 100% confidence in forming the pill. That's right. When you need my help, don't stand on ceremony with me. Grandmaster Xingyan nodded and said, with my current strength, if you hand over a portion of the Yuzuan pagoda's control to me, I can even fight against an early-stage Sky Supreme. Grandmaster Xingyan was very confident. Although his injuries were very serious not long ago, he had recovered in the Yuzuan pagoda. In the beginning, he had been recovering in the 9th floor of the Yuzuan pagoda with Jin Yi's help. After that, he went to the 8th floor of the Yuzuan pagoda and cultivated alone. Almost every once in a while, Grandmaster Xingyan would go to the 9th floor of the Yuzuan pagoda. During this period of time, Jin Yi almost died of anger. Not only did she want to heal Grandmaster Xingyan, she also wanted to help him cultivate. Although she was unwilling, for the sake of survival, Jin Yi did not resist. After several hours of recovery, not only did Grandmaster Xingyan's soul energy return to its peak state, his cultivation had also improved, reaching the terrifying 8th grade Earth Sovereign Realm. It was even a level higher than Jin Yi. One must know that Jin Yi was only a 7th grade Earth Sovereign. Truly, comparing oneself to others was infuriating. I won't be polite with you. I'm going to form the pill now. Taking a deep breath, Ning Yu suddenly patted the Nihility pellet furnace with his right hand, wanting to form the pill. Wait. Before Ning Yu's hand could touch the Nihility pellet furnace, Grandmaster Xingyan said, if I'm not wrong, you're refining the soul-luring pellet, and the pellet in the furnace has some special impurities. Let me help you get rid of them. As he spoke, Grandmaster Xingyan separated a portion of his soul energy and sent it into the Nihility pellet furnace. Chapter 1448. Chapter 1448. Ready. Everything is under your control? Hearing Ning Yu's words, Master Xingyan was briefly stunned before he retracted his soul force from the Nihility pellet furnace. Since Master Xingyan's soul force had reached the level of turning liquid into a pellet, his actions weren't noticed by Baidun and the rest. That's right. Everything is under my control. Ning Yu nodded his head and sent a wisp of his soul force into the Nihility pellet furnace. Crack! A crisp sound rang out. The soul-luring pellet in the Nihility pellet furnace broke into two. Crack! Under Ning Yu's powerful soul force and the control of the Nihility pellet furnace, the two halves of the soul-luring pellet furnace underwent an unbelievable change. The two halves of the soul-luring pellet furnace slowly healed. 2 soul-luring pellets? Master Xingyan was speechless when he saw the changes of the soul-luring pellet furnace in the Nihility pellet furnace. The soul-luring pellet could be refined like this? Even with his years of experience, he had never heard of a successful pellet splitting into 2. Whoosh! Whoosh! In the next instant, Ning Yu slapped the pellet furnace and the lid flew up. 2 pellets flew out from the Nihility pellet furnace. Ning Yu swiftly grabbed the 2 soul-luring pellets in his hand. Fortunately, I didn't fail. Opening his palm, Ning Yu continued, I've finally refined the soul-luring pellet. How is this possible? Seeing the 2 pellets in Ningyu's hand, Bai Dun and the 9th grade Earth Sovereign widen their mouths in disbelief. How could he refine 2 soul-luring pellets? That didn't make sense. Haha, nothing is impossible. Ningyu smiled and turned to Bai Dun. The reason why I could refine 2 soul-luring pellets is all thanks to City, Lord Bai, and Bai Qi. You're flattering me. It's all thanks to you. Bai Dun's eyes spun, and then he said, since the soul-luring pill has been refined, then in my opinion, we should let the palace master consume it first. Although there were many questions in his heart, Bai Shield did not want to care too much about it at the moment. He was more concerned about when Palatial Lord Centauria would consume the soul-luring pill. As long as Palatial Lord Centauria consumed the soul-luring pill, he would be able to use the enhanced white bone powder within the soul-luring pill to control her. Once he controlled the Centauria Palace Master, he would be able to make Fairy Yin Shi hesitate and hand over the Centauria fan. Of course, Ningyu moved and arrived in front of Palatial Lord Centauria. After handing the 2 soul-luring pills to Palatial Lord Centauria, Ningyu lowered his voice and said, "Consume the 2nd pill. Don't make a sound." Ningyu's voice was very soft, so soft that only Palatial Lord Centauria could hear it. Ningyu's words stunned the Centauria Palace Master, and she was a little confused. Even though she was very puzzled, she still chose to believe Ningyu. After all, it would be impossible for her to obtain the soul-luring pill without Ningyu, let alone cultivate the soul-luring technique. Crack! Palatial Lord Centauria seemed very composed on the surface as she picked up the 2nd soul-luring pill and tossed it into her mouth. Unrelated people, move aside. I'm going to teach Palatial Lord Centauria the soul-luring technique. When he saw Palatial Lord Centauria consume the soul-luring pill without any hesitation, Ningyu said in a low voice, "Senior Yin Shi, please seal the space around me and Palatial Lord Centauria. No one is allowed to approach us without my permission." Fairy Yin, she didn't move, and she moved her gaze towards Palatial Lord Centauria to seek her opinion. Palatial Lord Centauria nodded and said, "Ningyu's opinion is my opinion." Understood. Since Palatial Lord Centauria had spoken, then Fairy Yin, she didn't hesitate any longer. She withdrew the Centauria fan and surrounded Ningyu and Palatial Lord Centauria. What should we do? Seeing Fairy Yin, she using the Centauria fan to surround Ningyu and Palatial Lord Centauria, the 9th grade Earth Sovereign's face was a little unsightly. Truth be told, it was practically impossible for him and Bai Shield to break through the Centauria fan's defenses. Their trump card was to control Palatial Lord Centauria and order Fairy Yin Shi. But the current situation was a little out of their expectations. Wait. Bai Shield's words were concise and comprehensive. There was only one word, and that was to wait. Just a moment ago, Bai Shield tried to use the white bone demonic powder in the Palatial Lord Centauria's body. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't use it. Bai Shield felt that this was the doing of the Centauria fan. The Centauria fan had sealed the space around Ningyu and Palatial Lord Centauria, so he couldn't use the white bone demonic powder. How long do we have to wait? The 9th grade Earth Sovereign was a little anxious. I don't know either. At the very least, we have to wait for the Palatial Lord Centauria to learn the soul attraction art. Bai Shield shook his head. That works too. If we control the Palatial Lord Centauria now, Ningyu might not impart the soul attraction art to her. We can only control her after she learns the soul attraction art. We might even have a chance to obtain the cultivation method of the soul attraction art. The 9th grade Earth Sovereign was a little excited. If this situation continued, there was a 90% chance that they could control the Palatial Lord Centauria fan. Drip, drip. Time continued to flow. In the sealed region, Ning Yu told the palatial lord the cultivation method of the soul attraction art and even helped the palatial lord Centauria Fan practice it. With the palatial lord Centauria Fan's comprehension ability, it wasn't too difficult to practice the soul attraction art. In just 4 to 5 hours, she had already succeeded in learning the soul attraction art. This cultivation speed wasn't inferior to Ningyu in his previous life. I'm very sorry for what Ningyu and Lu Wei have experienced. After learning the soul attraction art, the palatial lord Centauria Fan took a deep breath and explained to Ningyu, the peerless killing array in Giant Shield City is controlled by Baidan. Even as the palatial lord of the palatial lord Centauria Fan, I'm still affected by Baidan. After all, I'm only a wisp of my soul. Ningyu didn't say anything. Seeing that Ningyu wasn't speaking, the palatial lord Centauria Fan continued. It was only when Fairy Yin Shi and Demon Sage arrived that my authority in Giant Shield City increased. Since you haven't appeared for a long time, and I don't have much time left, I listened to Baidan's suggestion and got Grandmaster Zhao to refine the soul attraction pill. Grandmaster Zhao? Ningyu was puzzled. That's right. Zhao Huan, Grandmaster Zhao. The palatial lord Centauria Fan nodded. I don't care if he's Zhao Huan or Go Huan. I only have one request. Ningyu shrugged and continued. Baidan and Zhao Huan must die. Hearing Ningyu's words, the palatial lord Centauria Fan was a little awkward. With Fairy Yin Shi and Demon Sage's strength, they might be able to kill Baidan and Zhao Huan with 100 Flowers Fan. However, the palatial lord Centauria Fan didn't want to be enemies with Baidan and Zhao Huan. After all, any pinnacle 9th grade Earth Sovereign was extremely important to Giant Shield City. There's something that I haven't told you. I've refined 2 soul attraction pills, and there's a problem with the first one. As for why there's a problem with the soul attraction pill, I believe you don't need me to tell you, right? Chapter 1449. Chapter 1449. Chapter 1449. To strike suddenly, its white shield and the others. Palatial Lord Centauria's expression was extremely ugly. Ningyu had already put it this way. No matter how stupid she was, she could guess the reason. Just now, Baidan's soul power had entered the nothingness pill furnace, and Bai Qi had helped him fuse the medicinal liquid. The problem with the soul-luring pill was definitely Bai Shield's doing. You are very smart. Ningyu nodded and said, Now is the best time to kill Baidan and Zhao Huan. If we miss this opportunity, there won't be another one. But Palatial Lord Centauria said hesitantly. To be honest, Palatial Lord Centauria knew very well that attacking Bai Shield and Zhao Huan in this space was the best choice. That's because the 100 Flowers Fan could be unleashed in this space. With Bai Shield's cultivation at the pinnacle 9th grade Earth Sovereign Realm and Zhao Huan's spiritual energy, it wouldn't be difficult for him to leave. I've told you what I want to say. As for whether you're willing to help or not, it has nothing to do with me. Ningyu shrugged, and then he said in a clear voice, Senior Yin Shi, please open up space. The palace mistress of the Flower Palace has already cultivated the soul guidance technique successfully. Voila! With a flick of her wrist, the seal around Ningyu and the palatial Lord Centauria completely vanished. Seeing the barrier disappear, Bai Shield's heart stirred, and he hurriedly activated the white bone demonic powder in the 100 Flowers Palace master's body. Ningyu, the first soul-luring pill, has changed. Just as White Shield activated the white bone fiend powder, Palatial Lady Centauria's first soul-luring pill began to buzz. That's very normal. White Shield has already begun to activate the white bone demonic powder within the soul-luring pill. If you don't want to expose yourself, it would be best for you to pretend to have fallen for his trap. Ningyu was not surprised. Ever since he found out that the soul-luring pill contained white bone demonic powder, he was very clear about Bai Shield's ambitions. Previously, with the restriction of the barrier, White Shield was unable to contact the White Bone demonic powder. Now that the barrier was broken, White Shield would definitely contact the White Bone demonic powder immediately. Pucci! The palace master's expression was gloomy and indeterminate. In the end, she suddenly spat out a mouthful of scarlet red blood while her countenance turned slightly pale. Success! Bai Dun and Zhao Huan exchanged a glance when they saw the palatial mistress spit out a mouthful of blood. They could see the excitement in each other's eyes. Palace Master Bai Hua, you've already been hit by the strengthened version of White Bone Devil Powder. If you don't want to die, you'd better obediently order Fairy Yin Shi to hand over the 100-flower fan. Bai Shield sent a spiritual message to Palatial Lord 100 Flowers. After all, the 100-flower fan was in Fairy Yun Shi's hands. Before obtaining the 100-flower fan, Bai Shield did not want to fall out with Fairy Yun Shi. How did you do it? Are you with Ningyu? Palatial Lord Centauria was very good at acting. She said in surprise, You clearly have a grudge with Ningyu. Lu Wei and company are currently in a very bad situation. How can Ningyu be with you? I got it. Bai Qi must have reached some kind of agreement with Ningyu when he was walking towards Ningyu. You're so cruel. Palatial Lord Centauria's words left Bai Shield dumbfounded. What the hell was going on? How could he have reached an agreement with Ningyu? Wait, Bai Shield's heart stirred. Since Palatial Lord Centauria thought that he was with Ningyu, he might as well beat her at her own game and get Fairy Yin Shi to hand the 100-flower fan to Ningyu. Fairy Yin Shi was not easy to deceive. If Fairy Yin Shi suddenly handed the 100-flower fan to Palatial Lord Centauria, she would definitely be suspicious. If she handed the 100-flower fan to Ningyu, she might not be so suspicious. Get Fairy Yin Shi to hand the 100-flower fan to Ningyu, then get Ningyu to hand the 100-flower fan to Bai Qi. Bai Shield sent a voice transmission to Palatial Lord Centauria. This is the only way I won't cripple your soul force. Otherwise, you should know the consequences. Palatial Lord Centauria's expression was gloomy. She wanted Fairy Yin Shi to make a move against Bai Shield, but she was worried that she couldn't kill Bai Shield and give him a chance to escape. For a moment, the Palatial Lord Centauria was in a dilemma. Agree to it. Suddenly, Ningyu's voice resounded in the Palatial Lord Centauria's ears. Hearing Ningyu's words, the Palatial Lord Centauria was briefly stunned before she replied, How did you know about my conversation with Bai Shield? The Palatial Lord Centauria was baffled. Bai Shield's conversation with her was through spiritual voice transmission. Bai Shield was a pinnacle 9th grade Earth Sovereign. So how could Ningyu eavesdrop on his conversation? Don't worry about that. As long as you do as I say, there's a high chance that you can kill Bai Shield. Ningyu said, not wanting to waste any more time with the Palatial Lord Centauria. No matter how powerful Bai Shield was, his soul force couldn't be compared to Grandmaster Xingyun. If Bai Shield concealed himself, then it would be hard for Grandmaster Xingyun to discover his conversation with the Palatial Lord Centauria. However, Bai Shield did not conceal himself, since he didn't believe that anyone in this space could discover his conversation with the Palatial Lord Centauria. No problem. The palace master gritted her teeth, and then she said in a clear voice, Fairy Yin Shi, I'm going to execute the soul guidance technique now. Pass the 100-flower fan to Ningyu and ask him to stand on guard for me. You want Ningyu to protect you. Fairy Yin, she was briefly stunned before she asked. That's right. Only Ningyu knows about the soul attraction art, so he can only be the one to protect me. The Palatial Lord Centauria nodded her head and continued. Ningyu is only an 8th grade Earth Sovereign, so he can ensure that nothing goes wrong with the 100 Flowers fan. All right. Although Fairy Yin Shi was a little doubtful, she couldn't afford to overthink the current situation. With a flick of her wrist, Fairy Yin Shi tossed the 100 Flowers fan to Ningyu. Grandmaster Xingyun, Watch my eyes and think of a way to cut off the connection between the 100 Flowers fan and Fairy Yun Shi. Grabbing onto the 100 Flowers fan, Ningyu walked towards the palatial Lord Centauria. Rustle. At the same time, Zhao Huan and Bai Qi also moved towards the palatial Lord Centauria. Zhao Huan and Bai Qi's actions made Fairy Yun Shi frown her brows. She vaguely felt that something was amiss. However, she could still contact the 100 Flowers fan. If there were any changes in the situation, she would immediately retrieve the 100 Flowers fan. Grandmaster Xingyan, how confident are you in capturing Zhao Huan if I let you fight? Looking at Zhao Huan and Bai Qi approaching him, Ningyu contacted Grandmaster Xingyun. 100%. Grandmaster Xingyun, who had recovered to his peak state, was very confident. After all, he was already an 8th grade Earth Sovereign. Coupled with the strength of his liquefaction pellet, there shouldn't be any problems facing Zhao Huan. All right, when Bai Qi and Fairy Yin Shi take another 3 steps, cut off the connection between the 100 Flowers fan and Fairy Yin Shi and control Zhao Huan. Leave Bai Qi to me. Ningyu gripped the 100 Flowers fan tightly and said in a deep voice, boom, boom, boom. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. When Bai Qi took his 3rd step, Grandmaster Xingyun suddenly appeared from the Tower of Ascension. He first cut off the connection between Fairy Yun Shi and the 100 Flowers fan. Then his right hand suddenly enlarged and grabbed toward Zhao Huan. Chapter 1450. All-Round Advantage. Shit! Zhao Huan sensed that something was amiss the moment Master Xing Yun emerged from the Tower of Yuzuan. He didn't think too much about it. He immediately turned around and flew toward the white shield. Zhao Huan was no fool. Although he couldn't see his opponent's face, he knew that his opponent's soul power had reached the level of liquefaction. His soul power had reached the level of liquefaction, and his cultivation was at the level of a grade 8 Earth Supreme. This level of strength was enough to fight against an ordinary Sky Supreme. Zhao Huan was only a grade 9 Earth Supreme, and his soul power had only reached the level of liquefaction. He would be courting death if he fought with his opponent. Bang! However, Zhao Huan wasn't as fast as Master Xingyan. Before he could take a few steps back, his shoulder was grabbed by Grandmaster Xingyan's huge palm. He was forcefully thrown to the other side and crashed heavily on the ground. Uft! Zhao Huan spat out a mouthful of blood. His expression was extremely ugly. Who are you? Zhao Huan wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and stared at the illusory figure in front of him. This is our giant shield city's matter. Why are you interfering? Since Master Xingyan had concealed his face, Zhao Huan didn't know who he was. Noisy! Master Xingyan's goal was to kill Zhao Huan, not to talk nonsense with him. As he shouted, Grandmaster Xingyan unleashed his terrifying soul power. It tore through the void and arrived before Zhao Huan in the blink of an eye, piercing towards her sea of consciousness. By shield, save me! Zhao Huan screamed hysterically at the critical moment. Their soul powers weren't on the same level. Zhao Huan would definitely lose if they fought head-on. Only with Bai Shield's help could Zhao Huan have a chance at survival. Otherwise, he would definitely die. Hold on a little longer. Bai Shield didn't have time to care about Zhao Huan. His attention was completely focused on the battle between Bai Qi and Ningyu. Ningyu had the 100 Flower fan. As long as Bai Qi could get it, it would be worth it even if Zhao Huan was killed. Hold on my ass. Zhao Huan was so angry that his nose was crooked. He was completely at a disadvantage. At this rate, he could only hold on for 5 minutes at most. He would definitely be killed in 5 minutes. I need to think of a countermeasure. Zhao Huan rolled her eyes. While blocking Master Xingyan's powerful attack, she secretly thought of a countermeasure. Rumble. On another battlefield, Ningyu and Bai Qi fought again. This time, Ning Yu did not let the sapling help him. After all, be it Fairy Yin Shi, Taoist Shinamo, Palatial Lord Centauria, or White Shield, all of them were very powerful. It was unwise to expose the sapling in front of them. With the red demon's sword in hand, Ning Yu exchanged several blows with Bai Qi. Since he did not have the help of the sapling and his cultivation was much lower than Bai Qi's, Ning Yu was at a complete disadvantage. Give me your 100-flower fan, or I'll let you know that flowers. Bai Qi said coldly. So much nonsense. Ning Yu interrupted Bai Qi and said coldly, if I can defeat you once, I can defeat you twice, thrice, or even kill you with ease. Ha ha ha. As if he had heard the funniest joke in the world, Bai Qi raised his head and laughed. Shortly after, he changed the topic and eerily said, an 8th grade middle phase human sovereign like you is something that I can crush with a single hand. The moment the word die was heard, Bai Qi's figure dashed out and appeared next to Ning Yu in an instant. He clenched his right hand into a fist and punched towards Ning Yu's face with violent Yuan Qi gales. Bai Qi's punch was so powerful that even an ordinary 3rd grade Earth sovereign might not be able to withstand it. Could Ning Yu, who was only an 8th grade intermediate human sovereign, block it? The answer was obviously no. Ning Yu was no fool. With his current strength, it was not wise to fight Bai Qi head-on. Come out. With a thought, Ning Yu tore through the void and disappeared. Whoosh! The Yuezuan pagoda suddenly appeared at the place where Ning Yu disappeared. Due to Bai Qi's speed, he was unable to stop himself and entered the 1st level of the Tower of Yuzu. Good. Seeing Bai Qi enter the Tower of Yuzu, Ning Yu's lips curled into a smile. I might not be your opponent outside, but I can easily defeat you in the Tower of Yuzu. However, Ning Yu did not have the time to control Bai Qi and quickly retreated with the Tower of Yuzu. That was because Bai Qi had already appeared before him. When Ning Yu brought out the Transcendence Pagoda, Bai Shield understood everything. Since Ning Yu had the Tower of Yuzu, that meant that the other cultivator was Master Xingyun. Today is a good day. I can get the 100-flower fan and the Tower of Yuzu. Bai Qi rushed toward Ning Yu and said in ecstasy, the Jin family and the Arch Palace attacked Nebula Academy, but I got there first and took advantage of them. The news of the Jin family and the Arch Palace attacking Nebula Academy had already spread throughout the Pill Formation continent. The main reason Bai Qi did not recognize Master Xingyun immediately was because he thought that Master Xingyun was dead for sure. Palatial Mistress, get Fairy Yin Shi to help Zhao Huan capture Master Xingyun alive. Bai Qi did not forget to order the Palatial Mistress as he rushed toward Ning Yu. No problem. The Palatial Mistress pretended to be in a difficult position, then gritted her teeth and said, Fairy Yin Shi, go deal with Master Xingyun. No matter what, you must capture him alive. The Palatial Mistress acting was very good, and Fairy Yin Shi's acting was also very good. In the next instant, Fairy Yin Shi's hands tore through the void, and she dove straight in. After Fairy Yin, she disappeared. Bai Qi no longer paid attention to her and focused on fighting Ning Yu. No matter what, he had to obtain the 100 Flowers fan and the Ascension Pagoda. Bai Qi, if you dare to touch me, I will definitely kill Bai Qi. Looking at the approaching Bai Qi, Ning Yu solemnly said. Ning Yu wasn't an indecisive person. As he spoke, he controlled the Ascension Pagoda and started to attack Bai Qi, who was on the 1st level of the Ascension Pagoda. Arg. Without a doubt, Bai Qi was only a 3rd grade Earth sovereign, so he naturally couldn't resist the powerful pressure of the Ascension Pagoda. A hysterical shriek resounded from Bai Qi's mouth that resounded in this region. When I brought Bai Qi in, I never thought that he would be able to live. Bai Qi coldly said, There's something that I might not tell you. There's a terrifying energy in Bai Qi's body. If I can't obtain the Ascension Pagoda, I will destroy it. You think that I don't know about the terrifying energy in Bai Chi's body? An arc rose on the corner of Ningyu's lips as he sneered. You can try to communicate with it and see if you can contact the energy in Bai Chi's body. Hearing Ningyu's words, Bai Chi was briefly stunned before he started to contact the energy in Bai Chi's body. It's not good to be distracted right now. Chapter 1451. Danger. Damn it. The sudden change caused Bai Shield's expression to turn extremely ugly. Everything was originally under his control. Now that Fairy Yun she had suddenly appeared and attacked him, it was truly out of his expectations. Cursing inwardly, Bai Shield hurriedly gave up on Ningyu and retreated. Where do you think you're going? Seeing that Bai Shield wanted to retreat, Perfected Devil didn't stay idle and attacked Bai Shield from another direction. Fairy Yin she attacked Bai Shield from the front, while Perfected Devil attacked from the side. Ningyu even returned the 100-flower fan to Fairy Yin Shi. Rumble. With a 100-flower fan in hand, Fairy Yin she displayed extremely terrifying strength, forcing Bai Shield to retreat again and again. Explode! Although Bai Shield was retreating, he still split a portion of his perception to detonate the terrifying energy within Bai Chi's body. Today we'll perish together. At this point, Bai Shield finally understood everything. Ningyu had already seen through the enhanced version of white bone powder. The soul-luring pill that the palatial lord had consumed did not contain white bone powder. In other words, everything was just his own wishful thinking. He had fallen into a trap long ago. Since that was the case, none of them would have an easy time. What's going on? However, what happened next caused Bai Dun's heart to sink to the bottom of the valley. No matter how he used his secret technique, he couldn't contact Bai Chi or the energy within Bai Chi's body. The Yuzuan Pagoda had cut off his connection with Bai Chi. Don't waste your energy. Bai Chi is doing very well in the Yuzuan Pagoda. He doesn't need your concern. Ningyu retreated to the palatial lord with the Yuzuan Pagoda and said indifferently, "Ah." Bai Shield raised his head and roared. Things had turned around too quickly, completely out of his expectations. Crack! However, the worst was yet to come. Under Master Xingyan's powerful attack, Zhao Huan didn't last long before being killed on the spot. Zhao Huan's essence spirit couldn't even escape and was killed by Master Xingyan. I'll be back! After Zhao Huan was killed, a cold light flew out from Zhao Huan's corpse and flew into the distance. After leaving behind a ruthless sentence, Lung Mang forcefully tore open the void and escaped quickly. Where are you going? Not long after the cold light flew, Ningyu caught him off guard. It was the same method. The cold flash could not avoid the sneak attack of the Tower of Yuzuan and entered the first floor of the tower. The aura emitted by this cold light is extremely similar to that mysterious expert that trapped me in the Flower Palace. The palace master had a solemn expression as she spoke in a low voice. After all, the palatial mistress had fought the mysterious expert for many years. She was very familiar with the mysterious expert's aura. The true form of the cold light should be some kind of essence soul. Of course, it was not Zhao Huan's primordial spirit. Zhao Huan was merely the host that Cold Ray had chosen. It seems that White Shield is indeed in cahoots with that mysterious expert. Taking a deep breath, the palace master of the 100 Flowers Palace said solemnly, "We want to rush to the core of the peerless killing array as soon as possible. I'm afraid that something unexpected might happen if we delay." "We're going there now." Ningyu slightly knitted his brows as he asked in puzzlement, "We still haven't gained complete control over White Shield." "In my view, it's better for us to dig something out of White Shield's head after we've gained control of him. White Shield is a pinnacle 9th grade Earth Sovereign, and his soul energy isn't weak either. It won't be easy to dig anything out of his head." The palace master of the 100 Flowers Palace shook her head. "It's not difficult at all. Don't forget that Grandmaster Xingyan's soul energy has reached the pellet transformation realm. Ning Yu shrugged. Ordinary people might not be able to force any information out, but Grandmaster Xingyan was different. With the strength of his soul energy and the fact that he had trapped White Shield, he would definitely know everything in White Shield's mind. Right. How did I forget about Grandmaster Xingyan? The palace master of the 100 Flowers Palace slapped her head before she shifted her gaze to the battlefield. In the battlefield, Grandmaster Xingyan, Fairy Yunxi, and Demon Sage held the absolute advantage. White Shield could only bitterly hold on. If it wasn't for the fact that they wanted to capture White Shield alive, he would have long been killed. How could he possibly hold on until now? What do you guys want? After enduring an attack from Fairy Yunxi, White Shield immediately retreated and said in a solemn voice, "You have two choices. You have two choices. The first is to let go of your mind and let us control your mind. The second is..." As she spoke, Fairy Yunxi briefly paused before she continued, "Die!" Rumble. Along with the word "die" from Fairy Yunxi's mouth, the temperature in this region instantly dropped to the freezing point. Rustle. The 100 Flowers fan in her hand fluttered, and several terrifying gales appeared, enveloping White Shield. Impossible. White Shield's face was cold as he barked. "If you guys continue to force me, I will self-destruct. I'm a Pinnacle 9th grade Earth Sovereign. You guys should know the consequences if I self-destruct. Even if I die, I'll drag a few of you down with me." White Shield's expression was decisive. At the same time, his body started to swell, as if he was prepared to self-destruct. "You won't even have the chance to self-destruct before me." Ever since Fairy Yunxi had used the 100 Flowers fan to trap White Shield, Master Xingyan had revealed a confident expression. In the next moment, Master Xingyan's soul force surged out and flew towards White Shield from all directions. Master Xingyan's soul force had reached the level of liquefaction elixir. Coupled with the fact that White Shield was trapped, Master Xingyan's soul force instantly arrived around White Shield and entered his body. Sizzle! Sizzle! Under the suppression of Master Xingyan's powerful soul force, White Shield's body started to shrink. Success! Fairy Yunxi, Taoist Master GMO, and the others all revealed looks of astonishment when they saw the changes by Shield's body. Both of them wore grave expressions. The strength of liquefaction elixir's soul force was truly terrifying. If I don't use my trump card, I won't be Master Xingyan's opponent. This was what Fairy Yunxi thought to herself. Even with Fairy Yunxi's help, it was enough to show how terrifying Master Xingyan was to be able to escape from the encirclement of the Jin family and Divine Emperor Palace. After his soul force entered White Shield's body, Master Xingyan circulated his soul force, causing White Shield to spurt a mouthful of blood. At the same time, Master Xingyan sealed all of White Shield's meridians so that White Shield couldn't self-destruct. Giant Shield City, aside from you and Zhao Huan, there are also a few people from the 100 Flowers City. Seeing that White Shield was restrained, the Palatial Master and Ning Yu quickly came before him. The Palatial Master's expression was grave as she coldly barked. "Tell me, and I can spare your life." Ha ha ha. Chapter 1452. Peerless Killing Array. Even if we become captives, we will subdue you first. Coldly snorting, the palace master cupped her fists towards Master Xingyan. Please take control of Bai Shield and dig out all the information in his mind. The palace master had great respect for Master Xingyan. Firstly, Master Xingyan's soul energy had reached the level of a pellet, so even if she wasn't trapped, she still wouldn't be his opponent. Secondly, Master Xingyan had played a crucial role in her successfully breaking free and subduing Bai Shield. It could be said that if it wasn't for Master Xingyan and Ningyu, she would definitely be dead. No problem. Master Xingyun did not speak much. His soul energy had already entered Bai Shield's body and was drilling into Bai Shield's head. Arg! A tearing pain came from his head, causing Bai Shield to shriek like a pig being butchered. The pain was terrifying to the point that even Bai Shield couldn't bear it. Plop! The pain in his head caused Bai Shield's eyes to roll back, and he fainted on the spot. Bai Shield is right. 3 hours ago, the entire 100-flower city has been mobilized. I believe that they will soon arrive at the city gate. Master, Xingyun slightly knitted his brows as he continued. Furthermore, there are at least 30 hidden experts from the 100-flower city in the giant shield city, and their cultivations are all in the Earth's sovereign realm. The 100-flower city has really launched an attack? The palace master was briefly stunned before she said, "Let's not delay any longer. We will head for the Peerless Killing Array's core and think of a way to activate it." Ning Yu took a step forward and said, "Palace Master Centauria, you should first uncover the 30 hidden experts. Otherwise, if they work together, the consequences would be unimaginable. Leave this matter to Demon Venerable." Palatial Lord Centauria had long thought of this. As for Fairy Yin Shi and Master Xingyun, follow me to the Peerless Killing Array. The Peerless Killing Array was the key to resisting the 100-flower city's army. The moment the Peerless Killing Array was activated, it would be able to resist the experts of the 100-flower city for at least 3 days. It would take at least 3 days for him to use the soul attraction technique. Palatial Lord Centauria wanted to open the Supreme Killing Array to fend off the experts of Centauria City and to buy time for herself. There's no time to lose. Let's act as soon as possible. After pondering for a moment, Ningyu said, "Not only do we have to uncover the 30 hidden experts, but we also have to control the city, Lord's Mansion. We can't let anyone suspicious escape. Leave it to me." Taoist Master GMO patted his chest and guaranteed, "As long as Grandmaster Xingyun can tell me the clues of those 30 experts, I promise I'll make sure nothing goes wrong. How about this? I'll share White Shield's memories." Grandmaster Xingyun's mind moved. In an instant, several soul memories flew out towards Master GMO, Fairy Yin Shi, Palace Mistress Bai Hua, and the others. As for Ningyu, he had also obtained a set of memories. There is indeed something fishy. Upon seeing the changes in Palatial Lord Centauria and Fairy Yin Shi's expressions, Ningyu's heart skipped a beat. Just as he had guessed, Grandmaster Xingyun was still hiding something from them, from the memories that Grandmaster Xingyun had given him. Ningyu discovered that the core of the Supreme Killing Array was suppressing a supreme treasure. Although he didn't know what the supreme treasure was, Ningyu knew that it was definitely something extremely precious. Otherwise, with White Shield status, there was no way he wouldn't know. "Are you confident?" Ningyu sent a voice transmission to Grandmaster Xingyun without batting an eyelid. The memories that Grandmaster Xingyun had given Ningyu were White Shield's complete memories. From the memories, Ningyu learned that in order to obtain such a supreme treasure, it wasn't enough to just break open the core of the array. After all, White Shield had tried before. With his strength, there was no way he could get close to the supreme treasure. In order to get close to the supreme treasure, one would first need a powerful energy barrier. That was because the place where the supreme treasure was located had a powerful pressure. Warriors with slightly weaker cultivations would be squeezed into powder just by a few steps. It's hard to say. We'll only know when we get to the core of the array. Grandmaster Xingyun said solemnly, "If there's no other way, we can let White Shield scout ahead." "Good idea." Ningyu nodded. White Shield was only severely injured, but he wasn't dead. Letting White Shield take the lead could also avoid a lot of unnecessary trouble. Crack! At this moment, Perfected Devil stomped on the ground and tore through the void, burrowing in. After obtaining the identity information of 30 hidden experts, Perfected Devil was 100% confident that he could capture all of them in one fell swoop. Let's go as well. Seeing Perfected Devil leave, Palace Master Baihua took a deep breath and said solemnly, "The experts from 100 Flower City have already launched an attack. We have to completely control the Supreme Killing Array before they arrive." The current situation was very dangerous, and there was no room for hesitation. As soon as she finished speaking, Palace Master Baihua's figure flashed and flew out of the space. "Let's go." Fairy Yin, she followed, closely behind the 100 Flowers Palace Master. Ning Yu grabbed onto White Shield and chased after her with Grandmaster Xingyin. After leaving this sealed space, Palace Master Baihua rushed towards the forbidden area of the city, Lord's Mansion, without stopping. The array core of the Supreme Killing Array was located in the depths of the forbidden area of the city, Lord's Mansion. Buzz! Buzz! With Fairy Yun, Shi, and Grandmaster Xingyin leading the way, Ningyu and Palace Master Baihua swiftly reached the depths of the forbidden area. The forbidden area of the city, Lord's Mansion. Outsiders! Just when Ningyu and Fairy Yin Shi arrived at the depths of the forbidden area, two cultivators took a step forth and blocked their path. The two cultivators were both at the 7th grade Earth sovereign realm with powerful strength. Noisy! However, the voices of the two 7th grade Earth sovereigns were abruptly silenced. Grandmaster Xingyin and Fairy Yin Shi had made their moves, and the outcome was unquestionable. The two 7th grade Earth sovereigns were killed on the spot. From White Shield's memories, Grandmaster Xingyin and the rest understood that the two 7th grade Earth sovereigns were 2 of the 30 hidden experts. Grandmaster Xingyin and the rest did not feel any guilt killing the 2 of them. The array core of the Supreme Killing Array is in this chamber. After dealing with the two 7th grade Earth sovereigns, Grandmaster Xingyin pointed at the stone door before him and faintly said, "You guys back off. Fairy Yin, Shi, and I will make a move together to blast the stone door open." Rustle! Rustle! Ningyu and Palace Master Baihua tactfully moved their feet and retreated to the other side. Before the stone door, Fairy Yin, she held onto the 100 Flowers fan, and Grandmaster Xinyan's soul energy slammed against the stone door. Boom! Boom! 2 terrifying attacks slammed against the stone door. Crack! Crack! The stone door was hard enough to withstand the 2 terrifying attacks. It only made a cracking sound and was not blasted open. This stone door is special. There should be a restriction on the back. Fairy Yin Shi's face turned grave when she failed to blast open the stone door. In Bai Dun's memory, the last few times Bai Dun had entered this place, he had easily blasted open the stone door without encountering any obstructions. Chapter 1453. Chapter 1453. Chapter 1453. A precious treasure. Even you can't open the stone door? Palatial Lord Centauria frowned slightly when she saw Yun Shi's expression. She said, "The core of the array is in this secret chamber. If we can't even open the stone door, then there's no way to activate the Peerless Killing Array." "There is a way, but it will take time." "Fairy Yun," she said, "if Grandmaster Xingyin and I were to forcefully attack the stone door, we would be able to completely blast it open in about 2 to 3 hours." "No, it's been too long." The palace master shook her head. In 2 to 3 hours, the army of 100 Flower City had already reached the city. At that time, it would be too late to blast open the stone door and open the Peerless Killing Formation. Only by breaking the stone door as soon as possible and opening the Peerless Killing Array could they resolve this crisis. "I have an idea, but at this moment," Master Xingyin said hesitantly. "Grandmaster Nebula, what solution do you have? Why don't you tell me directly?" asked Palatial Lady Centauria. Even if there was hope, it was still not as good as having hope. As long as they could blast open the stone door and open the Peerless Killing Array, everything would be fine. I need Fairy Yin Shi's help. And at this point, Master Xing Yin paused for a moment. His gaze stopped on Ningyu for a moment before he continued. I didn't break open the stone door normally. I used a spatial node to send me and Ningyu in, because he knew that there was a supreme treasure at the eye of the Peerless Killing Formation. Therefore, Grandmaster Xingyin was careful. He did not mention how to enter the stone chamber in the memories he gave to Fairy Yin Shi and Palace Master Centauria. The opportunity must be left to him and Ningyu. No problem. Fairy Yin Shi, go and help. Palatial Lady Centauria did not care who entered the stone chamber. What she wanted to see was to control the formation eye and open the Peerless Killing Formation. As for whether they could enter the stone chamber or not, she did not care at all. All right, even though she was a little doubtful, Fairy Yin, she didn't think too much about it. She cupped her fists at Master Xingyin and said, Please guide me, Master Xingyin. You threw out 4 punches in a row, hitting the 4 corners of the stone door, while I forcibly tore open the void when the stone door shook and entered with Ningyu. Grandmaster Xing Yin said solemnly, All right. Fairy Yin, she didn't waste any words. She clenched her fists and charged forward. Bang, 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 bang. Fairy Yin, she's attack speed was very fast. In almost an instant, she had punched out 4 times. Just as Master Xing Yin had said, her 4 punches landed on the 4 corners of the stone door. Go! Master Xing Yin grabbed Ningyu, then forcefully tore open the void and entered. Buzz! After Grandmaster Xing Yin and Ningyu entered the void, the area instantly became quiet. Palace Master, are you sure they can open the Peerless Killing Array? For some reason, Fairy Yin, she felt that something was wrong, but she wasn't very clear on what it was. It should be possible. The Palatial Mistress nodded. In fact, Palatial Mistress Centauria also knew that there was something strange about Master Nebula and Ningyu. However, the current situation did not allow her to think too much. If she continued to delay, Ningyu and Master Xingyin might be fine, but she would not be able to hold on. Sigh, I was heartless to Ningyu. Sighing, Palatial Mistress Centauria immediately sat down cross-legged and began to rest. Palatial Mistress Centauria was preparing. As long as she was sure that the Peerless Killing Array was opened, she would immediately use the soul attraction technique. With Fairy Yin Shi's protection, she could use the soul attraction technique to ensure that nothing went wrong. Bang! At the same time, in the stone room that was separated from Palatial Mistress Centauria by a door, Ningyu appeared from the void and slammed heavily onto the ground. What the F***? The moment he opened his eyes, Ningyu couldn't help but curse. Pressure. The terrifying pressure made it hard for Ningyu to breathe. Even though his cultivation had reached the mid-stage of the 8th grade and his soul power was at the peak of the 8th grade, he still found it hard to breathe, and even stand up was extremely difficult. Swish! At this moment, Grandmaster Xing Yin appeared from the void. Powerful soul power surged out and formed a protective barrier around Ningyu. Phew! Feeling the pressure disappear, Ningyu let out a sigh of relief. That was close. Fortunately, Grandmaster Xing Yin had helped him in time. Otherwise, he might have died here. After the pressure disappeared, Ningyu finally had the time to look around. Is that the core of the Peerless Killing Array? Looking at the huge whirlpool in front of him, Ningyu said with a solemn expression, The treasure in Baidun's memories is in the whirlpool. We have 2 choices now. First, we can use a large amount of energy to activate the core and open the killing array. Grandmaster Xingyin explained. Second, we can enter the core and see what the treasure in Baidun's memories is. It's not wise to activate the core now. After a moment of silence, Ningyu shook his head and said, I only have less than 70,000 sovereign grade yuan crystals on me. Baidun was used to scout for us. If I use up my 70,000 sovereign grade yuan crystals now, It won't be worth it if we encounter danger at the treasure. All right, let's enter the core first. Grandmaster Xing Yin had the same thought as Ning Yu. To be honest, he was worried that Ning Yu would want to open the core first. Let's go. With the protection of Grandmaster Xing Yin's soul power, Ning Yu did not hesitate and rushed into the whirlpool. Seeing Ning Yu enter the whirlpool, Grandmaster Xing Yin did not stay idle. He leaped and followed Ning Yu into the whirlpool. Crack, crack, crack. As soon as he entered the whirlpool, Ning Yu's body was squeezed to the point that it was a little distorted. Inside the whirlpool, the protection of Grandmaster Xing Yin's soul power was very weak. The reason why Ning Yu could last until now was because of the law of space and the sapling. Grandmaster Xing Yin. Ning Yu used his perception and began to contact Grandmaster Xing Yin. I'm here. However, as soon as Ning Yu used his perception, he immediately cursed. He discovered that his perception could not go far from his body. After advancing a few meters, he was completely unable to move forward. His perception could not move forward, which meant that Ning Yu could not contact Grandmaster Xing Yin. Looks like I can only slowly move towards the deepest part of the whirlpool. Ning Yu retracted his perception, and his expression became extremely solemn. Without Grandmaster Xing Yin's help, it would be extremely difficult for him to reach the deepest part of the whirlpool and find the treasure in Bai Dun's memories. However, even though it was difficult, Ning Yu did not want to waste this good opportunity. In any case, the sapling and the law of space could still hold on. Every step forward was a step forward. Ning Yu, hurry, hurry. Before Ning Yu could take a few steps forward, the Dark Emperor in the storage ring let out an anxious voice. Hearing this, Ning Yu was startled and asked, "What's going on? Do you know what the treasure is?" "Nonsense. Of course I know what that treasure is." Chapter 1454. Great Tyrant, speak in human language, no dog language. Ning Yu rolled his eyes. Just what is that treasure? What? You're eyeing that treasure? The Dark Emperor stared at Ning Yu warily and said, "I'll tell you the truth. That treasure belongs to the sky-devouring Hound clan. Even if you obtain it, it won't be of much use to you." "Is that so?" Ning Yu's brows twitched, and then he stopped on the spot and didn't continue forward. From the Dark Emperor's expression, Ning Yu could tell that the treasure in the depths was special, and it wouldn't be an exaggeration to describe it as extremely precious. Otherwise, with the Dark Emperor's character, he wouldn't be so anxious. All right, I'll tell you." Seeing Ning Yu's actions, the Dark Emperor had no choice but to compromise. The treasure in the depths is the sky-devouring scepter, the supreme treasure of the sky-devouring Hound clan. Sky-devouring scepter? Hearing that, Ning Yu was briefly stunned before he asked, "Could it be the third supreme treasure of the sky-devouring Hound clan, the sky-devouring scepter?" "That's right." The Dark Emperor nodded. "It is indeed the sky-devouring scepter." Thereafter, the Dark Emperor immediately added, "Since you know about the sky-devouring scepter, then you should know that only the sky-devouring hound can use it." "Let's go. I want to see what's so special about the sky-devouring scepter." Ning Yu didn't waste any more words. He walked towards the deepest part of the vortex step by step. In his previous life, even as a heavenly sovereign, Ning Yu had never seen the sky-devouring scepter. It was rumored that the reason why the sky-devouring Hound clan could stand on equal footing with the true dragon was due to their 3 supreme treasures. Amongst them, the third-ranked sky-devouring scepter played a crucial role. In ancient times, the emperor of the sky-devouring Hound clan wielded the sky-devouring scepter and fought with the true dragon. Ever since that battle, the sky-devouring Hound clan became famous, and the sky-devouring scepter's reputation also blossomed during that period. However, with the passage of time, the sky-devouring Hound clan disappeared in the long river of history, and the sky-devouring scepter naturally disappeared without a trace. Ning Yu did not expect to hear news of the heaven-devouring scepter here. He even had the chance to obtain it. Ning Yu would definitely not give up this opportunity. He took a deep breath and walked toward the deepest part of the vortex while paying attention to the changes in his surroundings. Don't be too anxious. I can sense that something is guarding the heaven-devouring scepter. The Dark Emperor was in the interspatial ring and did not come out. The Dark Emperor was not a stupid dog. With Ning Yu's strength, coupled with the help of the sapling and the spatial laws, it would be difficult for him to move an inch in this place. If he were to go out, he would probably be squashed into a meat patty and die on the spot. I want to freaking be anxious, but do you think I can be anxious? Ning Yu's face was filled with displeasure. That was the heaven-devouring scepter. Who wouldn't want to go there as soon as possible? However, even with the help of the sapling and the spatial laws, he had no way of speeding up. That was because the pressure in the surroundings was simply too terrifying. It was so terrifying that Ning Yu had to stop and rest for a moment after taking 3 steps. All right then. The Dark Emperor also knew that it was difficult for Ning Yu. He seemed to have seen through it and went silent, choosing to keep his mouth shut. Crack, crack. In the core of the supreme killing formation, Ning Yu moved step by step. Time passed bit by bit. In the blink of an eye, an hour had passed since Ning Yu entered the core of the supreme killing formation. In this hour, the pressure on Ning Yu was getting greater and greater. In the end, he had no choice but to expend the arch-grade essence crystals rapidly to maintain it. Thankfully, Ning Yu had many arch-grade essence crystals on him. Otherwise, it was unknown if he could survive in his current state. I can sense that I'll be able to see the heaven-devouring scepter in another half an hour. Although it was in the interspatial ring, the Dark Emperor was very sensitive to the heaven-devouring scepter. According to his calculations, he would definitely be able to see the heaven-devouring scepter in another half an hour. Roar! However, right then, something strange happened. A deafening roar sounded from afar. Swash! Accompanied by the roar, a figure bolted over from afar at an extremely terrifying speed. It's the demonic beast guarding the heaven-devouring scepter. The Dark Emperor in the interspatial ring exclaimed when he saw the massive creature that suddenly appeared. Ning Yu, think of a way to defeat it. I'll cheer for you. Ning Yu's face darkened. I won't say anything if you don't come out to help. But King said that you're cheering for me? If cheering works, what's the point of cultivating? Each time he fought with an enemy, it was not about cultivation or strength, but the number of cheers, trespassing on the forbidden ground. Before long, the massive creature appeared before Ning Yu and opened its mouth, saying coldly, "Kill without mercy." Gigantic tyrant? Ning Yu frowned slightly as he looked at the behemoth in front of him. There was some doubt between his brows. The demonic beast was huge and looked extremely similar to the gigantic tyrant. However, there were differences between this demonic beast and the gigantic tyrant. It had a pair of wings on its back that resembled scissors and looked extremely terrifying. Gigantic tyrant. The massive creature's deep voice sounded with a sinister expression. Don't compare a low-level demonic beast like the gigantic tyrant to me. No, I don't care who you are. Anyway, you'll definitely die today for trespassing on the forbidden ground. Swash! As it spoke, the gigantic tyrant opened its mouth once more and spat out a cold beam of light. The cold beam of light was extremely fast and appeared before Ning Yu in the blink of an eye. Clang! At that critical moment, Ning Yu hurriedly took out the red demon sword and held it in front of him. Ding! The cold beam of light collided with the red demon sword, and the immense force sent Ning Yu flying dozens of feet away. Uft! Fresh blood spurted out from Ning Yu's mouth as his face turned extremely pale. How can your strength be so terrifying? Through this move, Ning Yu could basically determine the gigantic tyrant's true strength. Fourth grade Earth Sovereign. The gigantic tyrant's strength had reached the terrifying fourth grade Earth Sovereign realm, although it was only a fourth grade Earth Sovereign. The spatial pressure here was terrifying, and the gigantic tyrant wasn't affected at all. Under normal circumstances, it would be hard for Ningyu to defeat a fourth grade Earth Sovereign giant tyrant, not to mention now. I have to think of a way. Ningyu's face was dark. His eyes turned as he tried to think of a countermeasure. The current situation was extremely urgent for him. He definitely wasn't the gigantic tyrant's opponent in a head-on battle. Right now, he could only bring out the Tower of Ascension when at least expected and use the fact that the gigantic tyrant had never seen the Tower of Ascension before to lure it into the Tower of Ascension. Ning, you might not be the gigantic tyrant's opponent outside, but the moment it entered the Tower of Ascension, the gigantic tyrant wouldn't have any chance of winning, no matter how powerful it was. Let's do it this way. The current situation did not allow Ningyu to think too much. As he retreated, he took out the Tower of Ascension and hid it in his sleeve. Chapter 1455. Go deeper. Not bad. You actually managed to survive a move that contained 10% of my strength. You do have some ability. Seeing that Ningyu didn't die on the spot, the colossal tyrant was a little shocked. One must know that it was a fourth grade Earth Sovereign, and even a move that contained 10% of its strength wasn't something that a middle phase 8th grade Earth Sovereign could withstand. The fact that Ningyu was able to block one of his moves without dying was indeed beyond his expectations. But that was all. In the next moment, the colossal tyrant opened its mouth once again and charged towards Ningyu. This time, the giant Tyrannosaurus did not hold back. Its mouth grew larger and larger, and in the end it became several times larger. You want to devour me? The colossal tyrant's actions had caused Ningyu to be startled in his heart. But at the same time, hope was ignited in Ningyu's heart. It wouldn't be that easy for the colossal tyrant to devour him. When I enter your stomach, I'll enter the Ascension Pagoda and see if you can melt it. Ning, you made up his mind. It was so much so that when the colossal tyrant approached him, he slowly closed his eyes without any intention of resisting, feigning death. The colossal tyrant wasn't surprised by Ningyu's actions. It opened its mouth and tried to devour Ningyu. After all, in its view, Ningyu would definitely die. A puny middle phase 8th grade Earth Sovereign was simply courting death by barging into this place. However, it was proven that the colossal tyrant was overthinking things. Before its mouth could devour Ningyu, a silhouette tore through space and appeared before it. Not only was that silhouette swift, but it also had a powerful attack. Boom! A fist was thrown out, along with a violent gale, that heavily slammed against the colossal tyrant's head. The massive force caused the colossal tyrant's head to feel dizzy before it was sent flying. Crack! 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 It heavily crashed against the ground, emitting a few crisp sounds. Roar! After being punched in the head, even a few of the bones in its body were broken. The big tyrant raised its head and let out a furious roar. Who are you? Staring at the martial artist standing beside Ningyu, the great tyrant revealed a grave expression. The giant tyrant was not a fool. On the contrary, it was very smart. Ningyu was a pushover, but this martial artist who appeared beside Ningyu was no pushover. 8th grade Earth Sovereign. The cultivator that appeared beside Ningyu was an 8th grade Earth Sovereign. What's going on outside? Why would that trash Xiao Huan let an 8th grade Earth Sovereign enter the Array Corps? The giant tyrant's face was gloomy, and it was secretly thinking of countermeasures. However, Master Xingyun obviously wouldn't give him the chance. First, he separated a wisp of soul power to protect Ningyu in the middle. Then he walked towards the giant tyrant step by step. Sha! Master Xingyan's speed wasn't fast, but it wasn't slow either. Moreover, as Master Xingyan walked, he exerted his powerful soul power to suppress the giant tyrant. Crack! Under the terrifying soul power of Master Xingyan, the giant tyrant's knees made cracking sounds, and it couldn't help but kneel down. Who are you? Zhao Huan should be in charge of Giant Shield City. How could you come here? The giant tyrant scolded. Zhao Huan. Master Xingyan raised his eyebrows and said, I'm sorry, Zhao Huan has been killed. Not only Zhao Huan, but even Bai Shield has been killed. As he spoke, Master Xingyan looked back at Ningyu. Bang! Ningyu understood and tossed the white shield out of his storage ring. It landed heavily at the feet of the big tyrant. Bai Shield. Seeing the martial artist under its feet, the giant tyrant was slightly stunned. It was a little confused. To be honest, the giant tyrant didn't know Bai Shield. It didn't even take the initiative to contact Bai Shield. Those who contacted it could only be martial artists from 100 Flower City. Even Bai Shield wasn't qualified, and Zhao Huan happened to be a martial artist from 100 Flower City. It seems that you don't know Bai Shield. Master Xingyan exerted force with his right hand, and a huge suction force sucked Bai Shield back and threw it to Ningyu's side. Ningyu controlled Bai Shield and threw it back into the storage ring again. Since you don't know Bai Shield, there's no need to keep you here. Master Xingyan said. The reason why Master Xingyan asked Ningyu to throw Bai Shield out was because he wanted to test it. In Bai Shield's memory, there was no mention of the thing inside the vortex. To prevent Bai Shield's memory from being erased, Master Xingyan chose to throw Bai Shield out to test it. Now it seemed that the giant tyrant didn't know Bai Shield, or rather, Bai Shield wasn't qualified to get close to the deepest secrets. Let's go! Seeing that Master Xingyan was distracted, the giant tyrant's eyes burst out a cold light. The wings on its back suddenly flapped, and its figure turned into an afterimage as it flew towards the depths of the vortex. Because it wasn't affected by the pressure in the vortex, the giant tyrant's speed was very fast. It was so fast that even Master Xingyan, who was an 8th grade Earth Sovereign, couldn't catch up. Should we chase after it? Seeing the giant tyrant leaving, Master Xingyan slightly knitted his brows and turned to Ningyu. According to Bai Shield's memory, as long as we can reach the depths of the vortex, we'll be able to find the treasure. The direction that the giant tyrant escaped in is different from the depths of the vortex. Different directions? Master Xingyan's words made Ningyu a little dumbfounded. The giant tyrant was clearly heading towards the depths of the vortex, so why would Master Xingyan say that? Could it be that Master Xingyan was lost? After thinking about it, Ningyu felt that there was only one possibility. Let's chase after the giant tyrant. Ningyu did not explain too much to Grandmaster Xingyan. He pointed at the direction where the giant tyrant escaped and said in a deep voice, We're unfamiliar with this whirlpool. If we let the giant tyrant leave, it's very likely that it'll bring more demonic beasts here. At that time, we'll be trapped in a forbidden land beyond redemption. All right. Master Xingyan didn't think too much about it. He agreed with Ningyu's words. Then, he grabbed Ningyu and chased after the giant tyrant. No matter what, the strength of Master Xingyan's soul energy had reached the level of liquid into core. Under the resistance of his soul energy, Ningyu felt that the pressure around him was gradually decreasing. What's going on? This change was clearly out of Ningyu's expectation. Master Xingyan's soul energy was already so strong, so it didn't make sense for him to feel that the pressure was decreasing. It's the pressure outside that's decreasing. Master Xingyan's expression was extremely grave. Although the pressure had decreased, Master Xingyan's heart was getting more and more worried. There were only two possibilities for the sudden decrease in pressure. First, they had accidentally broken into the depths of the vortex. Second, they had broken into the trap set by the giant tyrant. If it was the first possibility, it would be fine. After all, there was a chance to obtain the treasure. Chapter 1456. Swoosh! Swoosh! The situation seemed to be developing in a bad direction. Just as Grandmaster Xingyin was in a daze, the space around him suddenly split open. Suddenly, a few huge figures appeared. Obviously, the several giant creatures that suddenly appeared were not ordinary demonic beasts. They were the giant tyrant beasts. The cultivation of those giant tyrants was not very high. All of them were fourth-grade Earth sovereigns. The big Tyrannosaurus at the front was the big Tyrannosaurus that had just fought with Master Xingyin. Ha ha ha! Seeing that Ningyu and Grandmaster Xingyin had been tricked, the giant Tyrannosaurus at the front raised its head and laughed maniacally. It said sinisterly, "This is our territory. If you dare to barge in, you will die." That giant tyrant was very arrogant. Although Master Xingyin was an 8th grade Earth sovereign, they had a lot of demonic beasts. 1 or 2 of them might not be a match for you. But what about 3? What about 4? What about dozens of them? Of course, under normal circumstances, even dozens of 4th grade Earth sovereigns would not be a match for an 8th grade Earth sovereign. But the situation here was very special. They could control the pressure in this space at will. Ningyu, take a few steps back. Let me deal with these giant tyrants. Master Xingyin's expression was solemn. He pushed Ningyu away and faced the giant tyrants alone. Rumble! The battle broke out in an instant. At first, Master Nebula had an overwhelming advantage and even killed 2 giant tyrants. But as time passed, Master Xingyin found that the pressure around him was getting stronger and stronger. It was so strong that even he was affected. Under this terrifying pressure, he could only display 80% of his strength at his peak. And the most terrifying thing was that the pressure was getting stronger and stronger. At this rate, it would only take half an hour at most for him to only be able to display 10% of his peak strength. Therefore, Master Xingyin did not have much time left. I have to kill them all in half an hour. Master Xingyin secretly made up his mind. No matter what, he would use all his strength to kill all the giant tyrants in half an hour. Whoosh! Grandmaster Xingyin was not the kind of person who only talked and did not practice. With a thought, he released all the soul power in his body. The most powerful thing about Grandmaster Xingyin was not his martial art strength, but his terrifying soul power. Roar! As a matter of fact, Master Xingyin's soul power was indeed terrifying. After he released his soul power, the great tyrant was at a complete disadvantage. Ningyu, the heaven-devouring scepter, is right behind these giant tyrants. Ningyu could not help Grandmaster Xingyin fight against the giant Tyrannosaurus alone. At this moment, he was communicating with the Dark Sovereign in his storage ring. The Dark Emperor's expression was solemn as he said in a deep voice, "After Grandmaster Xingyin completely kills the big tyrant, we will suddenly rush out and snatch the heaven-devouring scepter." Dark Emperor didn't trust Master Xingyin. He treated Master Xingyin as an enemy. Suddenly rush out? Ningyu said snappily, "If it weren't for the help of the sapling and the law of space, as well as the soul power that Master Nebula left around me, we wouldn't even be qualified to stand here." The Dark Emperor felt a little awkward. He was indeed a little anxious. After all, the Heaven-Devouring Scepter was one of the top 3 treasures of the Sky-Devouring Hound clan, and he did not want anyone else to obtain it. Let's wait a little longer. The situation isn't that simple. Ningyu shook his head and continued, "If I've guessed correctly, these giant tyrants will definitely be killed by Grandmaster Xingyin, and after they die, more demonic beasts will appear." Actually, Ningyu's guess wasn't wrong. The Heaven-Devouring Scepter was a treasure amongst treasures, so there was no reason for it to only be guarded by a few 4th-grade Earth sovereign realm demonic beasts. It wouldn't be an exaggeration even if there were heavenly sovereigns guarding such a heaven-defined treasure. Crack! What he wanted came true. Just when Ningyu had this thought in his heart, there was a drastic change in the battlefield not too far away. Grand Master Xing Yun rapidly retreated with a grave expression on his face. Suddenly, an even larger giant Tyrannosaurus appeared in the midst of the giant Tyrannosaurus. This giant Tyrannosaurus that was several times bigger opened its mouth and devoured the other giant Tyrannosaurus. Crack! Crack! The sound of bones shattering resounded from the giant Tyrannosaurus' mouth, looking extremely eerie. Humans, you guys have great courage to come here. Not bad, not bad. Casually spitting out the bones, the giant Tyrannosaurus faintly said, I'm about to leave this space and I'm lacking 2 guides. You guys can be my slaves. Be careful. Grandmaster Xingyun and Ning Yu did not reply to the giant Tyrannosaurus. It was so much so that they even looked as if they were facing a great enemy. Grandmaster Xingyun said in a low voice, Enter the pagoda of Yuzuan later and hand the control over the pagoda to me. I'll deal with this giant Tyrannosaurus. How confident are you? Ning Yu asked. 50%. Grandmaster Xing Yun replied. The giant Tyrannosaurus cultivation was at the 9th grade Earth Sovereign Realm, which was extremely terrifying. Facing it head-on and under the terrifying pressure, Grandmaster Xing Yun only had a 30% chance of winning. He could only achieve 50% by controlling the pagoda of Yuzuan. You guys don't seem to want to be my slaves. Letting out a sigh, the giant Tyrannosaurus opened its mouth and a massive scepter appeared. Sky-devouring scepter. The moment he saw the scepter, Ningyu realized that the scepter that the big tyrant spat out was the heaven-devouring scepter. Oh, you're pretty knowledgeable. It's a pity that there's no prize. Holding on to the sky-devouring scepter, the giant Tyrannosaurus continued, You guys have 2 choices now. Submit to me and tell me about the outside world or die. Make your choice. Ningyu, find a way to get close to the giant Tyrannosaurus. I have a way to snatch the sky-devouring scepter. The Dark Emperor's solemn voice resounded in Ningyu's ears. Hearing that, Ningyu was briefly stunned. Are you sure? I'm sure. The sky-devouring scepter is the treasure of the sky-devouring hound clan, and I'm the emperor of the sky-devouring hound clan. I'm 90% confident that I can snatch it. The Dark Emperor said. All right, I believe you. At this moment, Ningyu and the rest had no other choice. If the giant Tyrannosaurus didn't have the sky-devouring scepter, Grandmaster Xingyun still had a 50% chance of winning with the pagoda of Yuzuan. However, the giant Tyrannosaurus had the sky-devouring scepter. Even if Grandmaster Xingyun controlled the pagoda of Yuzuan, he wouldn't even have a 10% chance of winning. Rather than risking a 10% chance of winning, it was better to let the Dark Emperor give it a try. After all, the Dark Emperor was the emperor of the sky-devouring hound clan, so he had a 90% chance of snatching the sky-devouring scepter. We choose to submit to you. Chapter 1457. 3 minutes. Year 20 of the Heavenly Demon Calendar. The giant tyrant frowned slightly when it heard Ningyu's words. No one knew what it was thinking. Since the giant tyrant did not speak, Ningyu stopped moving forward and stood on the spot. For a moment, the place fell silent. Drip, drip. Time continued to pass. In the blink of an eye, half an hour had passed. Roar! The giant tyrant suddenly raised its head and roared. It then pointed at Ningyu and said, Come here and open your mind. I'm going to inspect your memories. Ningyu's heart skipped a beat when he heard that. He knew things were not going well. Given the giant tyrant's strength, he would definitely be controlled if he opened his mind. However, the current situation did not allow Ningyu to overthink. He could either take a gamble or escape immediately. Without thinking too much, Ningyu moved his feet and walked toward the giant tyrant again. 3 more steps. As Ningyu moved forward, the Dark Emperor in the storage ring said in a deep voice with a solemn expression, "Thud! Thud!" Every step that Ningyu took landed heavily on the ground, producing a loud thud. 2 steps. The Dark Emperor silently counted every step that Ningyu took. 1 step. When Ningyu's final stomp landed, a terrifying light burst forth from the Dark Emperor's eyes. He abruptly sprang out from his storage ring and charged toward the giant tyrant at an extremely terrifying speed. "Ningyu, back off!" The Dark Emperor transmitted his voice to Ningyu as he charged toward the giant tyrant. "Let's go!" Ningyu was not an indecisive person. With a flash, he retreated backward. However, Ningyu was cautious and did not retreat too far. This distance was just enough for him to receive the Dark Emperor. Although the Dark Emperor had a 90% chance of seizing the heaven-devouring scepter, who could guarantee that the last 10% wouldn't fail? Therefore, Ningyu did not retreat too far. At this distance, he could open the Tower of Ascension and bring the Dark Emperor back. Purple gold sky, devouring hound. Looking at the approaching Dark Emperor, the giant tyrant's expression turned grave. After all, the heaven-devouring scepter was the ultimate treasure of the heaven-devouring hound clan. Therefore, it was not an exaggeration for the giant tyrant to recognize the Dark Emperor as a heaven-devouring hound. Whoosh! 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 It was fine if the Dark Emperor did not make a move, but the moment he did, he used his trump card. He forced out 3 drops of blood essence and charged toward the giant tyrant from 3 different directions. Go! After the 3 drops of blood essence flew out, the Dark Emperor opened his mouth and spat out another fist-sized cold light. I can't believe it. The Dark Emperor's actions caused Ningyu to curse. The cold gleam that was the size of a fist was not an offensive technique, but the Dark Emperor's blood essence. How much blood essence did the Dark Emperor have in total? In order to control the heaven-devouring scepter, he had forced out so much blood essence. It could be said that the Dark Emperor had put himself in a desperate situation to survive. It was either succeed or die trying. Child's play. Clearly, the giant tyrant did not realize that the cold gleam was the Dark Emperor's blood essence. Holding the heaven-devouring scepter, he said proudly, "I would like to see how capable you are to fight me." Hee, using the heaven-devouring scepter to kill the heaven-devouring hound. Just thinking about it makes me excited. After laughing sinisterly, the giant tyrant threw the heaven-devouring hound out. Its target was the fist-sized blood essence of the Dark Emperor. Almost instantly, the heaven-devouring scepter came into contact with the Dark Emperor's blood essence. When the two collided, what the giant tyrant expected did not happen. Chi, 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 chi. The Dark Emperor's blood essence wrapped around the heaven-devouring scepter and drilled into it desperately. Oh no! The sudden change was obviously out of the giant tyrant's expectation. In the next moment, the giant tyrant quickly communicated with the heaven-devouring scepter, wanting to retrieve it. It's too late to react now. The corner of the Dark Emperor's lips rose as he swung his tail towards the giant tyrant. The Dark Emperor was excited. As long as he could hold on for a few more minutes, he would be able to gain control of the heaven-devouring scepter. Thus, the Dark Emperor yelled out as he attacked the giant tyrant. Ningyu, Master Xingyun, come out quickly. No matter what, you have to stop the giant tyrant for 3 minutes. Don't let it get close to the heaven-devouring scepter. The Dark Emperor's words caused the faces of Ningyu and Master Xingyun to drastically change. After exchanging a look, Ningyu and Master Xingyun immediately charged out. Master Xingyun fought the giant tyrant head-on, while Ningyu waited for an opportunity from the side. After all, the giant tyrant was a 9th-grade Earth Sovereign. Without absolute confidence, Ningyu did not want to take the risk. Rumble, The Dark Emperor wasn't a match for the giant tyrant. It was so much so that the giant tyrant could kill him with a flip of its hand. However, Master Xingyun was different. He was an 8th grade Earth sovereign with a powerful soul core. With the addition of Master Xingyun, the pressure on the Dark Emperor instantly disappeared. Thanks. After cupping his fists towards Master Xingyun, the Dark Emperor flew towards the heaven-devouring scepter. The heaven-devouring scepter was hard to control. If he only relied on the Dark Emperor's blood essence, he would probably need 3 minutes to fully control it. Judging from Master Xingyun's situation, it was unknown if he could even last 3 minutes. Thus, the Dark Emperor had to find another opportunity to execute the secret technique of the Sky-Devouring Dog Clan to control the Heaven-Devouring Scepter. Reality had proven that Master Xingyun wasn't a match for the giant tyrant. In just a minute, Master Xingyun was already spewing blood from his mouth with his face turning pale. I've changed my mind. I don't want you to be my slave. I want to devour you alive. The giant tyrant fixed its gaze on Master Xingyun as it continued. I can sense that as long as I devour you alive, there's a high chance that I will reach the quasi-heavenly sovereign realm. If you're sensible, then stay where you are. Otherwise, I'll let you die a horrible death. As it spoke, the giant tyrant moved towards Master Xingyun. Crack! Crack! In the process of advancing, the giant Tyrannosaurus concentrated all the pressure in this area on Master Xingyun. The massive pressure caused Master Xingyun's knees to creak, and he couldn't help falling to his knees. 1 minute left. Master Xingyun was calculating the time. There was only 1 minute left from the 3 minutes that the Dark Emperor had mentioned. As long as the Dark Emperor could control the heaven-devouring scepter, he would immediately get Ningyu to open the Ascension Pagoda and take refuge. Since this was the core of the Peerless Killing Array, it wouldn't matter even if the giant tyrant took the Ascension Pagoda away. When he recovered to his peak state, he would be able to appear from the Ascension Pagoda and deal a fatal blow to the giant tyrant. Success! Suddenly, the Dark Emperor yelled from afar. Although he said that he needed 3 minutes, that wasn't the case. The Dark Emperor executed a secret technique to gain control of the heaven-devouring scepter in 2 minutes. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.